That's right, you flat. Mine's as straight as your spine. It's okay, it's just yoga.
I can feel the stretch. This pose is harder than it looks. Just breathe and hold. Wow, I think my toes are talking back to me.
Spine nicely. Keep your shoulders relaxed of tension. We're moving into a deeper stretch.
Inhale deeply, exhale slowly.
End up pose is called the selfie stretch. Feel energy flowing through face. Breathe in, breathe out loud.
Feel your spine. Stay straight. One breath at a time.
Let's breathe in and out. Oh wait, I think I just saw a squirrel. Okay, focus people.
You're doing great. Just breathe and hold it. Oh my God, I can't feel my toes. Okay, just one more second.
Feel your body relax. Now bring your Townsend. You're doing all great.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Wow. Oh my God, why is my camera so big? Oh no, what's up, everybody? So glad everybody came over from Joe. So great to see everybody. Let me do this. How's it going? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Jim. This is Jim Tells You the News, and we'll see how you like it. I don't know. We're going to try. We're going to make some efforts here. I want to thank everybody who's here. Please remember to hit the like. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And please notice there is a goal. It's a minor goal we do. And that was some messed up stuff. It really was. Basically, there's links for PayPal and Cash App and Ko-Fi, whatever it's called, in the chat. And also Rumble rants and super chats and gifted memberships or memberships everything that comes in, I add it all together. And if we hit $100, I add an extra hour to the show. For every $100 that comes in, there's an extra hour added to the show, so the show could go all night long. It's up to you guys. And also, when we hit the first $50, we activate Bellavision, which is there she is. There's Bella. She's just chilling there, sleeping right now. But and then unless we get an individual donation of $25 or greater. But let's see who's here tonight. We have Jody. What's up, Jody? Great to see you. Apex Comics is here. What's up, Kelly? How you doing? Reeb, what's going on? How you doing? Joe's here. What's up, Joe? Lisa, what's up? How's it going? Hey, what's up, Mama Pillow? Michelle's here. How you doing, Michelle? None of your business is here. Serenity's here. And Audra's here. Audra, Serenity, Catherine K, Gundam's here, and Mr. Dan, the other Gagax. What's up? How's everybody going? How's everybody doing? Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm screaming. So, yes. So thank you. And we are going to get going right into the news right as we speak. First, I have another couple of videos that I wanted to play just to see, that I thought were really funny. We had this one, which just says, I don't know if you guys saw the thing with that was Gavin Newsom doing that weird stretchy thing that he was doing. That was Gavin Newsom doing a weird stretchy thing. And let me fix my camera here, man. No matter how many times I adjust everything, it always reverts back to the way it was prior. So I don't get it. Bella needs 50 likes. Hey, what's up? It's Vanilla Gorilla's here too. Oh, hey, Catherine K, Jim and the Jimsomniacs. What's up? AK Log Cabin is here too. You watched Just Joey Poole going off on Candace a half hour ago, multiple C-bombs in a short period. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, so that was that. And then there's this one, which I thought is really good.
My balls.
I thought that was really good and funny. So I was like, I don't know what, which things I should start the day with. And then I had this one, which was going to be a choice too.
Tick tock, sign the line, fine print, blood and ink. Quiet now.
Go! Fuck it, yo! Fuck it, yo! Fuck it, yo!
Censorship crew, what you gonna do? Fuck you gonna do? Fuck the EU. Fuck the EU. Fuck the EU. Censorship crew, what you gonna do? Fuck the EU. Fuck the EU. Fuck the EU.
Find him now, we push it through.
Brussels bots and polished suits try to choke X, but the signal shoes. Blue check riot speech on blast. Your court slow, but rockets fast.
You draw lines where thoughts should fly. Find the platform we amplify.
Fuck the EU. Fuck the EU. Fuck the EU.
Find him now, we push it through. Then
I thought that was a pretty good one. I wasn't sure which one to start with. This was going to be the starting one until I saw the Gavin Newsom one, and I was like, that's pretty funny with the whole thing because it was, it was talking about him making those funny steps and stuff. HJ Remy's here, says, hello, everyone. How's it going? Nice to see you. All right, let's get into some news. Get into some news here. And the first news, obviously, of the day is the stuff happening with the Supreme Court. Yeah, memes are always good. I like the memes. Stuff happening with the Supreme Court. Now, a lot of people have talked about the stuff with the Supreme Court, and I am of the belief that these arguments being made at the Supreme Court don't just apply to this case that they're talking about here. There's other things happening, and there's a lot of stuff being said, like about criminal prosecutions and how they're different than civil prosecutions, and how a president's power when it comes to criminal prosecutions is like extreme, and Congress can never limit that stuff. But then I'm thinking back to, well, didn't we just have 2 U.S. attorneys that were removed from office by judges saying, no, we have the power as judges to remove you as U.S. attorney, and we get to pick the U.S. attorney, which, where is that in the Constitution? Hint, it's not in the Constitution anywhere. That's in a statute. So that would imply that it's unconstitutional if constitutionally the president has total control over prosecution powers of criminals. And hey, Wise Elk's here. What's up? What are they worth to us? Either one. I don't know. What do you mean? Oh, you're talking about these guys, Candace and them. Yeah. So Ketanji Brown Jackson told the court that presidents should not be able to fire PhDs and experts who run a government. She even argued that presidents should avoid control over transportation and the economy. Yeah, so the president should just be a figurehead like this guy that doesn't really control everything, even though it's the only person elected by the entire country. Just be somebody like, Mount Pills, has there ever been a dumber lawyer than Ketanji? I doubt it. Oh, I don't know, man. I've met some I'm pretty sure Hank Johnson is a lawyer, and he thought Guam was going to flip over. So there's that. And a remarkable exchange in the Trump v. Slaughter. Ketanji Brown Jackson claimed the president should have no power to fire bureaucrats, economists, PhD scientists, and all these people. Such a view would carve out the heart of Article 2 and cement the rule by permanent insiders rather than elected leadership. Jackson's theory elevates the deep state over the voters who chose a president. And it's a constitutional revolution in plain sight. It really is. Yeah. Expert bureaucrats. Yeah. That's where we're at, man. That's where we're at. So we're going to listen a little bit of this. You probably heard it, and I apologize if you have.
Some issues, some matters, some areas should be handled in this way by nonpartisan experts. That Congress is saying that expertise matters with respect to aspects of the economy and transportation and the various independent agencies that we have. So having a president come in and fire all the scientists.
And it's funny that as a Supreme Court justice, somebody who's supposed to be, know the Constitution and know how the government's structured and works, she says these independent agencies we have. Show me in the Constitution where it mentions independent agencies anywhere, what branch of government that is, because it's not there. Hey, Cesium Cat's here. Says, evening, Jim Somniacs. Great to see you too. So Audra says, so he should just sit at the beach all day like Biden. Maybe. Justice Brown is dumber than Sotomayor. No wonder the Kardashian girl thought she could be a lawyer. Ugh. Yes. Partisan experts. Put on a few masks, Ketanji. Definitely. Alt media cash outs.
And the doctors and the economists and the PhDs, and replacing them with loyalists and people who don't know anything is actually not in the best interest of the citizens of the United States. These issues should not be in presidential control.
Who gets to decide what's in the best interest of the people of the United States? Isn't it the people of the United States get to decide what's in their best interest? They get to vote for the person that they want to control these things, and that person that they vote for is the one who gets to pick who these people are that run these things. I mean, that's why we have elections. Otherwise, I guess she's of the belief, like Alex Soros is, that there shouldn't be elections. We should just have experts that are appointed by our betters to control our lives and tell us what we should do, because we can't, decide for ourselves because we're all, mouth-breathing idiots, and we don't get to pick how we want to live. It should be decided for us by experts.
So can you speak to me about the danger of allowing, in these various areas, the president to actually control the Transportation Board and potentially the Federal Reserve and all these other independent agencies? In these particular areas, we would like to have independence. We don't want the president controlling. I guess what I don't understand from your overarching argument is why that determination of Congress, which makes perfect sense given its duty to protect the people of the United States, why that is subjugated to a concern about the president not being able to control everything. I mean, I appreciate.
Yeah, you caught that, didn't you, Fatty? You caught that? We as in her and the liberals don't want this president to control things. If it was a different president, it would be fine, but not this president. Not this president. This president, they don't want being able to decide anything. They want judges to decide, and they want bureaucrats to decide, and the president just gets to, basically, they tell him what to do. That's what they want. Most people lurk. How dare I question the stunning and brave black woman of SCOTUS? Honestly, I think I would be able to, I could probably, and I'm not a lawyer, I think I could probably go head to head with her on legal theory and probably beat her. Because, I've watched Law and Order and Boston Law, whatever it was, Boston Common, Boston's Legal, whatever it was, and Suits. I could give her the old Harvey Specter question always. Yes. Auto Pen Supreme, bad news.
There's a conflict between the two, but one would think under our constitutional design, given the history of the monarchy and the concerns that the framers had about a president controlling.
Okay. The Constitution is set up in a way because of the fears of the monarchy, but they knew what an executive was, so they took the power of legislating away from the monarch and gave it to the Congress, and gave it to the House and Senate. And then they took the power of the judiciary to decide laws and to rule somebody's guilt or innocence that was given to the king, and they gave that to the judiciary. So they already did that. There's not all this other stuff that she's coming up with about, oh, no, they were worried about the president is a king for 4 years, except for the limits put in by the Constitution. That's it. The line, it's one line. One line. The power of the executive branch will be vested in a president. That's it. Yeah. Your qualifications include Matlock. Well, you got me beat then. And just a thought, is she Somalian? It's possible, maybe. But then again, Joe, just so you know, I got some Columbo, too. So, a little Columbo. Yeah. And Jules says, late joining from Joe Raid. Going to go back and watch at 1.5 speed while I lurk and work. Always good to see you, Jim and friends. Well, good to see you, too, Jules. It's always great to see you. I feel like anyone who's read the Constitution could do better than her. Yeah. That's all you got to really do is be able to, if you can read and comprehend at a 6th grade level and read the Constitution, you're going to do better than Justice. I'm not a biologist, Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Everything that in the clash between those two, Congress's view that we should be able to have independence with respect to certain issues should take precedence.
So Congress's view that there should be independence of the president. Oh, okay. Is that in the Constitution? Does it say, hey, there's going to be independence here? No, it's not in the Constitution. It's just not in there. Yeah. And here's Karen O. Got it right here. This is the thing. Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1 and 2. Executive power shall be vested in a president. Yeah. Not reachable by judicial and holds consequences for court to act. Yeah, it's like, that's it, man. It's one line. That's the power. Because everybody knew. That's the thing, is everyone knew what the power of the executive was at the time of the founding. They weren't sure about the power of the legislature or what that was going to be. So that's why they had to write all this stuff about what it was going to be, all those powers, all the power of the judiciary. They weren't sure what exactly the judicial power was going to be. Could it be overridden by the president? Could this and that? Obviously, the president has pardon power, but I wish they televised Supreme Court sessions. I would love to see the other justice faces when she says some of the things. Yeah, no fourth branch of government. Yeah, that actually was said today. I listened to the hearing, to the oral arguments. That was actually said, I believe, by Gorsuch. There is no fourth branch of government. The fact that they had to say, because they talked about the independence. There's no such thing as an independent. There's nothing in the Constitution that is independent. They put limits on a presidential's terms, but not their own. That says all you need to know about Capitol Hill. Yeah, that's what they do. That's how they do. So we have a bunch of stories. We're going to breeze through them here. Okay. SCOTUS poised to side with Trump on the FTC firing. Slow showdown that could topple 90 years of precedent. Well, this is bullshit, too, because it's not 90 years of precedent. They've been chipping away at this pygmy ruling, which was, okay, Humphrey's executor, as decided, the guy was dead, so he wasn't getting the job back. He was never reinstalled in the job, and they didn't say he gets the job back. They said he got paid the money, first of all. Second of all, at the time, that organization, the FTC, had no police-type powers. They couldn't order anybody to do anything. They could make recommendations for the Department of Justice or someone else to do things, but they could, recommend, like, hey, you should do this, look at this. Other people had to do the prosecution and bring charges or bring cases and do things. They didn't have any power. So it was kind of like it wasn't really, didn't have any prosecutorial power. So they could kind of at that time say, well, maybe it's not really executive branch. Now the FTC sends cease and desist letters, which have to be abided by immediately. They can, file cases and drag people into court. That wasn't the case before. So that's why now it is executive power that they're exercising. So, the Celia Law case basically destroyed the whole precedent of Humphrey's executor anyway. So it's not really anything. It's not really precedential anymore. It should be a law. Any limit set on one branch of government must apply to all. Yeah. The power is not balanced anymore. Well, right now we are living in a supreme judiciary is what's happening, where the judicial branch is just, ordering around the president like he's a clerk. They're basically trying to order around Congress, saying spend money and do things that Congress. I mean, Congress passed a law. The president signed it that said that Planned Parenthood couldn't get any more money. Well, then you've got this judge, Talwani, ordering that, no, you have to give money to Planned Parenthood. You can't stop paying them because I say so. How is that within that judge's power? It's not. It's not. Taking into consideration I could be called a racist, that is one dumbass woman. It is clear that she's a potato appointee. So the case is Trump v. Slaughter. It's one of the 4 cases the Supreme Court conservative majority has agreed to review this term. So here, let's see.
The Supreme Court hearing arguments today on a very important case for the White House that deals with President Trump's tariffs and his executive ability to carry them out.
All right, this is not the case today. This is not tariffs. This is not tariffs. What are you doing?
Today, even some of the conservative justices were asking some pretty...
All right, so we're gonna go back this way. I gotta see this because I just seen... We got $25 from Lisa, which means Bellavision, 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 Bellavision. Thank you so much, Lisa. Bella appreciates it. She appreciates it. She really likes being on camera, even though she tries to hide her head so no one can see her. There she is. You get to see her face. Look at her. Just chilling there. Thank you. You're amazing. Thank you so much for Bella time. Keep studying, Karen. You're citing the right references. Doing great. Yeah, you're already doing a great job. Yep. Thanks, Lisa. Nice early start. I just finished with the next news chat work. Well, I was going to start at 9, and it's just 9 now. So, but Joe stopped early, and if I wasn't live, I would have lost all the raid people, which I didn't really get any anyway. I normally have this many people watching anyway, so I don't know. I don't know if anybody actually that wasn't going to come over came over. So I don't know. Anyway, so let's see here. So the Supreme Court's conservative majority on Monday signaled it may permit President Trump to fire members of the FTC without cause in a blockbuster case that could reshape the balance of power and topple a 90-year-old president. Oh my God. Justices heard nearly 3 hours of arguments in the case centered around the legality of Trump's firing of Rebecca Slaughter, a Democrat on the FTC who was terminated by the president without cause a year before the end of her term. I mean, you guys got to realize, too, and think about it this way. What if there was let's say either a Democrat or a Republican president who had the House that was under their control, same party, and Senate under their control. So they could conspire to create agencies that had, say, a 10 or 20-year term, something like that, or a lifetime appointment, and say the president can't fire these people, and stack them with people, and the president would have no control over them. But according to them, that would be fine because, it was decided and a president agreed with it. They don't think back to when all these agencies were created this way. It was done when there was parties, like Congress was controlled by one party along with the presidency. And so they came up with these wacky ideas to create these new things. Karen Nelson says, gotta go. I'll be back. Well, thank you. Thank you. Oh, wait. So I have to do this. I have to do this. So now we are $75 away from the first additional hour of the show. So we'll do that. All right. So Slaughter had sued, citing protections under Humphrey's executor, a 1935 Supreme Court decision that allows Congress to protect certain federal regulators from being fired without cause. During Monday's oral arguments, Justice for the conservative 6-3 majority appeared poised to side with Trump in allowing him to proceed with firing Slaughter, despite concerns from liberal justices who cited concerns about discarding a nearly 100-year-old precedent and eliminating more guardrails for the commander-in-chief. Lawyers for Cook, DOJ trade blows at the high skates. They clash over the firing. So I think Cook's going to go too. I think a lot of stuff's going to happen. Yeah. And there was some very, like, anyone who was in Joe's chat saw my super chats and what I was trying to say to Joe. The arguments where it was the arguments for the people that are against Trump, for the woman's Slaughter that was fired, her attorney had a colloquy with Justice Gorsuch where they talk about how it's different for these people because they don't have criminal prosecution powers. They only have civil. They can only bring civil lawsuits and fines and all these other things, ruinous fines and stuff. So it's different. It would be different if it was criminal. And then I was trying to say, well, what about what's happening in all these districts where judges are removing U.S. attorneys appointed by President Trump and saying, no, you can't have that person because Congress wrote a statute that says after 120 days, I get to pick the U.S. attorney. And my argument is that is clearly unconstitutional because if Congress can't put that limit to say you can't fire somebody that has criminal, can't put these limits on, how is it they could say that the courts could pick an attorney responsible for exercising executive power, exclusive executive power? Just doesn't seem like it could be constitutional. Hey, what the F? What's up? So John Sauer, Solicitor General, urged the court arguing for Trump that to overturn Humphreys, which he assailed as indefensible outlier and a decaying husk of a Supreme Court decision, and notwithstanding the test of time. Lawyers for the ousted FTC, Rebecca Slaughter, countered that overturning the ruling would altogether mean everything is on the chopping block, both for leaders and other multi-member federal agencies created by Congress. Yes, that's how it should be. Any president that comes in should be fire anybody that has any executive power whatsoever if they're not going to do what he wants. Why would a president, think about it. Everyone knows, it's like, presidents come in and nothing changes. They just keep doing the same shit. The agencies don't listen, and the president says, I want to do this, and they say no, and then President Trump's been getting sued and getting dragged to the court, and this is the problem. It's the deep state, and it's got to go. As the arguments drew to a close, it remained unclear how the high court may rule. I think it's pretty clear how the high court's going to rule. Most conservatives appeared to disagree with the notion that Congress should be able to block a president's ability to fire federal regulators, even as they grappled with the risks of completely overturning the 1935 court decision entirely. Why? Overturn it. Chief Justice Roberts used his time to press parties on how the modern-day FTC powers have changed since the court's original ruling. That's right. The original FTC didn't have any power to sue people, to issue, cease and desist letters, to drag them into court, to impose fines. Didn't have any of them powers. Humphreys, he said, is therefore addressing an agency that had very little, if any, executive power. And that may be where we're able to attract such a broad support at the court at the time. Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett also seemed to entertain the possibility of further narrowing protections for agency heads under Humphreys. There should be no protections for agency heads. Zero protections. The president is the only one answerable to the entire country. So if he wants to fire an agency head, he should be able to. And you know what? If people don't like it, they vote him out of office. If Congress thinks he did something wrong, they can impeach him. Those are the limits. That's the limiting principles. It really is. Liberal justice on the court appears skeptical, though, that Trump has the power to fire heads of independent federal agencies. There is no such thing as an independent federal agency. There's 3 branches of government. There's not this pygmy thing out here that is something else that all of a sudden makes them untouchable. Because who could fire them then? If Trump can't fire the head of the agency, who can? Who has the power to fire the head of the agency if not Trump? Citing concern, or not the president, let's say, not just Trump, but the president. Citing concerns over allowing him to do so could be a slippery slope that frees the executive to fire other agency heads or lower level civil servants. The president used to be able to fire everybody in the civil service. All of them, until they had the Civil Service Act that they put in to protect them, which might be unconstitutional. Who knows? You're asking us to destroy the structure of government. These fucking hypochondriac people, man, just screaming and hyperbolic. You're going to alter the structure of the government. You're asking us to overturn a case that's been around for nearly 100 years. Kind of overturned it already, in all but name. Kagan echoed the same concerns. Once you're down this road, it's a little bit hard to see how you stop. You don't stop. There is it's all gas, no brakes with the president's power. I hate to break it to you. The brakes are impeachment and election. That's the brakes. That's the system we live in. It really is. This case centers on Trump's firing of the FTC member Rebecca Slaughter, a Democrat, without cause earlier this year. The cause is she wasn't doing what he wanted. KJB is too retarded to define what a woman is. It happens. Slaughter sued immediately to challenge her removing argued violated protections the Supreme Court enshrined in Humphrey's executor. Wow. So if you notice, there's been all these cases. Every time Trump fires anybody, they come running into court and say, Humphrey's executor, Humphrey's executor. Wow. When it applied to a specific person in a specific case, the precedent in question, questions of separation of power drove the bulk of the arguments. The case also comes as the High Court gears up to hear cases next month centered on Trump's attempt to remove Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, which he removed her for cause, for being a criminal, mortgage fraud. She says, I'm back, class canceled, Kirk left 40-minute video of info. I'll watch later. Kirk, you're talking about Kurt or Kirk? I don't know. The arguments in Monday's case will be closely watched and expected to inform how the court might consider the case in January. Yes, could be. Caveat emptor. That's right. Look at Justice Thomas looking at her going, man, and even your burritos taste like shit. Slaughter had sued in March over removal, arguing it violates Humphrey Executor, a 1914 law passed by Congress which shields FTC members from being removed by a president, except in circumstances of inefficiency, neglect of duty, or malfeasance in office. A federal judge sided with Slaughter's lawyers in July, agreeing that her firing unlawfully exceeded Trump's executive authorities and ordered her reinstated. How does any judge have the power to order anyone reinstated to the executive branch? The Supreme Court in September stayed that decision, temporarily allowing Trump's firing to remain in effect. Now, she's fired. The replacement's already been approved by the Senate. So what are they going to do? Force somebody else out? Supreme Court's willingness to review the case is a sign that justices might be ready to do away completely with Humphrey's protections. Yes. Thomas is based. Yes. They've already been weakened significantly over the last 20 years. Oh, so it's not a precedent that's been standing for 100 years as they claimed. It's been weakened significantly over the past 20 years. Oh, okay. Allowing Humphreys to be watered down further or overturned completely could allow sitting presidents to wield more authority in ordering the at-will firing of members of other federal regulatory agencies, including the NLRB and the Securities and Exchange Commission, among others, and replacing them with persons of their choosing. Kind of how the Constitution designed it to work. Yeah, six conservative justices on the court signaled as much as they agreed to review the case earlier this year. Kagan, Sotomayor, and Jackson dissenting. They said, no, don't even review the case. They asked both parties to come prepared to answer two key questions. First, whether removal protections violates the separation of powers. The removal protections violate separation of powers, and if so, whether Humphrey should be overruled, and whether a federal court may prevent a person's removal from public office either through relief, at equity, or at law. Because they're probably going to say that, no, you can't restore somebody. The only thing you could do is pay them money. You can't restore them to office. It doesn't work that way. There is no restoration into office, giving them their job back. Either the president can fire them or they can run for the office. Yeah. Solicitor John Sauer argued that a filing in the FTC authorities of today's vastly exceed the authorities granted to the commission in 1935. What's this? Good stuff from Cesium Cat. It's about Somalis. We'll see if we get to that. The notion that some agencies that exercise executive power can be sequestered from presidential control seriously offends the Constitution's structure and liberties that the separation of powers protects, which is true. The decision is expected to be handed down by the end of June. I think this decision is going to come down a lot earlier. They might not hurry it up because they don't really need to, because she's not back in the job. So we'll see. The case of Slaughter is one of 4 cases the conservative majority has agreed to review this term that centers on key separation of powers issues. The question involves so-called unitary executive theory. But what is it? The unitary executive theory is in the Constitution. I mean, Karen shared it earlier. Sorry. There shall be one president. The power of the executive vested in that president. I mean, that's unitary, right? If there's one president and he has the power, that's what unitary means, right? Critics have cited concerns that the court's decision to take up the cases could eliminate lasting bulwarks in place to protect against the whims of a sitting president, regardless of political party. The whims of a president, is that what controls the executive? It also comes as the justices of the 6-3 majority have grappled with a flurry of similar lawsuits filed this year by other Trump-fired Democrat board members, including Gwen Wilcox of the NLRB, Kathy Harris of the Merit Systems Protection Board, and Lisa D. Crook by the Fed. But she was fired for cause, so it's slightly different. Since taking office, Trump has signed hundreds of executive orders and ordered sweeping personnel actions that have restructured federal agencies and led to mass layoffs across federal agencies. Yay! Including leaders that were believed to be insulated from the whims of a sitting president. Is that the government we want? Is people that are insulated from the whims of a sitting president? People that are not answerable in any way, shape, or form to the voting public? If a president can't remove them, how are these people subject to any oversight by we the people? Just ain't happening. Jay Liebgott, what's up? Howdy, Jim. Howdy, chat. Great to see everybody. What's this lady's name? Oh, look at this. This lady's name that wrote this is Brianne Dipshit. See it? Dipshit. Wow, great name, Brianne Dipshit. So Newsweek just says Donald Trump could be handed more power by the Supreme Court. I will argue that the power was always there and it was always the president's. And it was a lawless Congress and lawless courts that tried to take power away from the president. Once any branch of government that starts taking power, it's not like they're just going to hand it back willingly. It's going to have to be, it's going to have to be like completely taken back by force. So presidents can fire heads of independent agencies at will. Yeah. 90-year-old constraint. Well, they say it's a 90-year-old constraint, but didn't they just say that it was weakened over the past 20 years? So it's not a 90-year constraint if it's been weakened over the past 20 years. And here's from Forbes. It says, should Trump have more power to fire federal officials? It's not Trump. See, they keep wording it as Trump. It's should the president. The president. And it doesn't matter who the president is. It really doesn't. Yeah. Libby, like Bing your channel. Yeah. Liking your channel. Oh my God, really? Autocorrect? Yeah, it's going to get you always. Always going to get you. Same thing for Epoch Times. Trump Supreme Court seems poised to side with Trump. And then, what is this? USA Today says Supreme Court seems likely to give Trump more power over agencies. Yeah. Because there is no such thing as an independent agency. There really isn't. All right, on to the next story here. We got this. It's very interesting. It says, swing district GOP braces for political fallout if healthcare subsidies expire.
It's that time of the year, open enrollment. That's when you can sign up or change your health care plan. Healthcare is what ultimately caused the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Democrats want to extend Obamacare subsidies, which expired December 31st. Meanwhile, President Trump is vowing to replace the Affordable Care Act with something better and cheaper. Next year, health insurance premiums for millions who use Obamacare could double if Congress does not find a solution. The administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, Dr. Mehmet Oz, joins me. Nice to see you, sir. And first, great work on getting the obesity drugs down to affordable, because I think that's a big game changer for a lot of things. But I've also heard you quoted as saying that innovation and competition will help us disrupt the illness industrial complex, which to me means you got some ideas for changing a lot of things, because the status quo really isn't working.
It's not working at all. In fact, you look at healthcare costs in general, they're increasing 8 to 9% this year. That's a lot more than inflation. Not as the GDP can't keep up with that. We're going to become a large healthcare system with a small country attached. So let's get ahead of this. The GLP-1 drugs that we put out through a desire of the president to get all these prices to come down to so they're equal for Americans and those living in other countries, is working beautifully. We've done the largest U.S. company, a large European company, all the fertility drugs. So we're making progress. This whole concept that Americans would be stuck spending 3 times more for the same drugs made in the same places and put in the same bottles as folks in Europe makes no sense. The president is appropriately angry about this, and we have taken steps. These GLP-1 drugs, which will help Americans lose weight, will also reduce all the morbidity from obesity, including high blood pressure and diabetes and kidney failure, liver issues, a whole slew of things, Greta. But the fundamental reality is within 2 years, they will pay for themselves. Within 2 years, taxpayers will actually pay less money for the healthcare system because of these drugs. Which brings me to the big topic I know you're about to ask about, which is the Affordable Care Act. And we do have big ideas there, but it's a mix. You have to reduce the actual cost of care while you come up with better ways of paying for the care that you're offering. And just as evidence that their system is in trouble, when the original ACA was created, there were problems with it, which, for good or for bad, they were sort of muddling through until COVID. And when COVID hit, the Democrats addressed those problems by throwing money at the issue, which they only were willing to do until now, because they knew what they were doing didn't make sense. Because of these ill-designed moves, it has led to immense fraud in the system. We believe there are over 4 million people, alleged people, getting benefits on the Obamacare system who do not exist or weren't supposed to get the benefits. That's a lot of money, full fare. We're paying for insurance for 4 million people who don't even know they have insurance.
Well, it seems to me, though, that we really need to shake up the system completely. It's not just trying to figure out how to make it cheaper, but the model is just not working. And what I like are, and I think, is rather than wait till someone is...
So he's saying that there's people that are on Obamacare that don't know they're on Obamacare, and that the insurance companies are just getting paid from the government, and these people don't even know they're getting insurance. They've never made a claim or anything. They've never gone to the doctor. What? That sounds dumb. Sounds really dumb. Like Karen says, ask the courts, what's wrong with you? Don't you read the Constitution anymore? Yeah, we need real food grown. Yes, we do. And what the F says, here's a great idea. If you're a fat bastard, you pay more. If you're not, you pay less. You are what they eat. You are what they eat. Yes. What you are, you eat what they eat, what they eat, what you eat. Yes. I am not reaping any benefits from lower Ozempic costs. I need my premium out-of-pocket and max out-of-pocket reduced. Oz says, don't know they have ins. Maybe they don't trust doctors, and that's why they're not going. Well, then why would they sign up for the insurance? If that doesn't make sense. They're saying people that never went, they don't know. That's the thing. We'd have to really. Someone's going to have to explain it to me a little better. Yeah. Clever. Yes. Oz is industry shill. This is evil. How much have you reduced cancer treatments, insulins, and EpiPens? Things that are not optional. Obesity should be treated with therapy. It's a food addiction. Because doctors get paid money based on patients in some areas. Yes, they do. Yes. Yeah. I think a lot of stuff, especially like a lot of stuff that requires you to keep going back, like a lot of therapy stuff that they have you go back for, like physical therapy and different things. I think a lot of times it's a racket. It really is.
A horrible case of cancer and spend all the money on chemotherapy and radiation is what I like. A lot of these tests that they're beginning to be developed online, so you can see if you maybe yourself these self-tests for colon cancer, for prostate cancer, the Galleria test for blood to can determine 50 cancers. But as we get more and more of those tests with FDA approval and with more certainty, that let's attack the disease before it becomes horribly expensive and fatal.
A stitch in time saves 9. It has always done that. It will continue to do that. As a surgeon, I love using that phraseology because we take precautions when we do surgeries to make sure we have great outcomes. We do not do that with our health policies quite as readily. And much of what we have identified is a malalignment where the person doing the procedure is actually not aligned exactly with what the patient needs and the payer, the person actually paying the bill. I spoke this morning to the American Medical Association, and I pushed the doctors in the room to get their mojo back. And what happened to professionalism where, yes, you take care of your patients, number one, but you also have a civic responsibility to speak up about issues that matter. We have got to realign the system. We don't even have the governors and the president of the country aligned. And that's why we have these battles about Medicaid payments. So I think we can fix these issues, but we've got to be brave about it. And as you know, just last week, we began taking active steps to do just that, to make sure people are not paid to do things that don't create value for the American people.
I also think that lots of times politicians create these different systems, but they haven't spoken to the doctors and the nurses and the people who every day have to deal with it, who have really good ideas.
They don't, and the doctors and nurses actually are in the trenches. They know what to do. My plea today, and again, nurses are the ultimate healers. They're the ones out there. They're the glue that holds the system together, is speak up about things you know to be important in the system. Do not tolerate being just a cog in the wheel of the medical industrial complex. The people you're watching in these screens right now are actually saving lives. The folks who are the middlemen, the insurance companies, the pharmaceutical the drug creators, which again, the scientists are one thing. They're on the front lines creating solutions, but there are lots of business people in the middle. We need them to recognize that we want value for the investment we're making in healthcare. We spend twice as much as any other country on the planet. We have got to be able to get value that's equivalent to that, and it's not. Our life expectancy is dropping, partly for the reasons you articulate. We're not getting time, the testing and recovery.
And I'm here every day, 5 days a week.
Here every day, 5 days a week. So, Republicans in key battleground U.S. House districts are working to contain their political fallout that may come when thousands of their constituents face higher bills for health insurance coverage obtained through the Affordable Care Act. Well, I mean, the Affordable Care Act didn't make anything affordable. It didn't, if you like your doctor, you can keep it. That was a lie. It's going to reduce costs. That was a lie. Everything about it was just lies. It was just all about screwing up the system to the point where they think they could take total control over it. That's all. Let's see. Rachel Boone says, sounds like insurance fraud. I mean, wouldn't you be notified if you have insurance? You'd think you would get something in the mail, bill something, Tanya. Don't you have to apply for it? I don't know. Maybe there's people filling out paperwork. Max op last year was $6K out of pocket, and 2026 is going to be $9,000. That doesn't count office visits or specialty care costs. Wow. Happy Monday, everybody, says neurodivergent one. Karen O says, I want exercise and pressure points, not pills. Hit that repost and spread the word. That's right. Make sure you hit the like button, follow, smash the like, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Yeah. If only I wasn't illegal. If you were illegal, you wouldn't have to pay anything. Scheduled appointments are down to 5 minutes now. Yeah, in and out as fast as possible. They don't want to screw around. Not to see the doctor, but just to be listed as a patient, not to mention the money insurance companies make off the subsidies. Yes. It's brutal. It's all about RX bonuses on prescribing certain drugs, whether the patient needs it or not. Yeah, hell, surgeries are nowhere near as long either. My grandson had surgery. They took 30 minutes to repair his collarbone. I was blown away. It didn't take longer. Therapists do need more critical view. There's a lot of quacks looking for permanent customers. This is the evil in the medical system. Unending treatment, not actual cures. Yeah. I keep asking for pressure points, but no answer, except if I qualify for drugs. I'm slow now searching myself. That was opening, plate screws closing. He was in and out by 9 a.m. Well, that's awesome. Yeah. Prayers, they're sending people home so much sooner. Yeah. Well, they're trying to get people out of the hospital as fast as possible. What the F says, Mama, yeah, I had surgery and pre-surgery tests. My primary said my A1C was slightly elevated. She wanted to put me on metformin. Told her to pound sand. I got my A1C down myself. Yeah. There's a lot of things you can do, change the way you eat, your diet and stuff, and affect all these things. Some states dispense insurance with welfare benefits, one application for all the government grifts. Yes, yeah, they do. If you don't know you have insurance, who pays your premium? Well, the government was paying it. These are people who qualify for complete government subsidized insurance. That's what you're talking about. So the government is paying for these insurance plans for people that don't know they have insurance. Used to be you could be cured. I remember my aunt being really sick once, had no idea, but she saw a doctor and was okay in a couple of weeks. Yeah, saying as soon as they woke up, they sent them out the door. Find osteopath. Keeping my prayers, lost 20-year-old niece to myocarditis yesterday. Damn vaccine. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. That's terrible. For a critical sliver of the Republican majority, the impending expiration of what are called enhanced premium tax credits after December 31st is a pressing concern as they potentially face headwinds in the 2026 midterm election that will be critical to President Trump's agenda. One of those first-term representatives, Ryan McKenzie of Pennsylvania, whose victory for the Allentown area seat last year was among the narrowest in the nation, McKenzie is part of a bipartisan group that has been pressing for an 11th-hour compromise, advocating for an extension of the tax credits that tries to fix perceived flaws and bring down healthcare costs, but the push is a long shot due to entrenched GOP opposition to the healthcare overhaul known as Obamacare. I think we need to deal with the reality that we are now in, and even if you have a broken system, that doesn't mean you shouldn't provide or offer relief to individuals. Yeah, so it doesn't matter if it's broken and you're just shoveling good money after bad. They don't want to deal with anybody complaining, and they don't want, that the media is going to drag people out or are going to say, oh my God, so they're worried about that instead of just ripping the Band-Aid off and dealing with it. God. Rachel says she had a heart attack, worked on her for over an hour, couldn't save her. She has a 25-day-old baby. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is horrible. Yeah, all is right, but we are not focusing on getting true MAGA candidates in Congress to vote out all these good ideas to fix. But I don't know how vote a non-liar into Congress in Minnesota all are rhinos. Yeah. That's the problem. It really is. Democrats have been laying the groundwork, starting with this fall's shutdown, to make healthcare issues the focus of next year's campaigns. The party's strategy for capturing the House majority centers on pinning higher bills for groceries and health insurance and utilities on policies of Trump and Republicans. In Washington, Republicans from competitive House districts have authored or signed onto bills that would temporarily extend the tax credits. A new bipartisan proposal unveiled Thursday has drawn support from roughly 15 Republicans and 20 Democrats. I have 40,000 people in my district who rely on this health care, and doing nothing to prevent a spike in their premium is wrong, said Representative Jen Kiggins, sponsor of the plan. 13 Republicans, including McKenzie, signed a letter in late October to House Speaker Mike Johnson encouraging the temporary extension of tax credits, saying letting them lapse without a clear path forward would risk real harm to those we represent. Johnson hasn't committed to a short-term extension vote before January 1st. He's dismissed the looming premium increases as affecting a small percentage of Americans. It really is. It's not affecting that huge amount. More than 24 million people have ACA healthcare insurance, including farmers, business owners, and other self-employed people who don't have other health insurance options through their work. Well, all those people, the vast majority of them already had health insurance to begin with. They had private plans that they bought catastrophic coverage. And now all that stuff is gone because of Obamacare. They had to get rid of all those plans. Many businesses benefits from subsidies that lower their out-of-pocket costs. The subsidies include the enhanced premium tax credits, which were added and then extended under Joe Biden when his party was in the majority in Congress. Why didn't they just make them permanent? They could have made them permanent, but they didn't. Some Republicans, including McKenzie, couched their support for an extension with the caveat that changes must be made. One is rooting out insurance broker fraud. Another is backing off subsidies for higher earners. I mean, why should somebody who's making like over $200,000 be getting subsidies from the government? Why? Kevin Kiley, one of the California Republicans, which just means he's a fucking Democrat to put an R in front of his name. His district is going to be redrawn to favor Democrats, sponsored a bill to extend the tax credits for 2 years. His bill would also impose an income eligibility cap to exclude higher earners. Kiley said the current system isn't working, but there's not enough time. There's never enough time. There's never enough time to do anything. There's always an election coming. We got to do something to save the election. It's like this nonstop thing. Jeff Drew also sponsored a bill to temporarily extend the credit, saying letting subsidies lapse would make it harder for Republicans to retain a majority next year. People say, well, it's not that many people. The kind of election we're going to have in the midterms in multiple districts is going to be decided by 1 or 2 points. It's going to be close. It's going to be tight, and it does matter. It absolutely matters politically. It's always political concerns. Rep. Richard Hudson of North Carolina, chair of the House Republican campaign arm, said the tax credits won't be decisive in next year's election when other things are likely to be on voters' minds. Listen, the subsidies things aren't going to be a big deal as long as everything else is going good. But if the bottom line is if the economy is shit and unemployment is high and we're in a bunch of wars and stuff, well, people are going to be pissed. Hey, Barbie World's here. Says, hello, Jim and chat. Sorry I'm late. Oh, never late. A wizard is never late. They always arrive exactly when they intend to. Exactly when they intend to. But Rep. Susan Delbini of Washington, who chairs the House Democrat campaign arm, said swing district Republicans won't be able to distance themselves from expiration of the tax credits. The number one issue across the country is affordability, and health care is a key part of that. Well, I mean, if you look at the law of supply and demand, and anytime the government subsidizes anything, it becomes more expensive. I mean, look at college, to say the least. How expensive college education has gotten, all because of all the government programs and subsidies and grants and different things, loan guarantees. It's pretty much guaranteed that the cost of schooling has gone up, multiples of 10. The Congress Budget Office projects that 3.8 million people will be uninsured in 2035 if tax credits aren't extended. But the tax credit also come with a cost. Extending them would increase the deficit by $350 billion over the next decade. The expiration of the tax credit means enrollees will see annual premiums more than double. Well, the premiums were already doubled. It's just that the tax credits going away means that instead of all the taxpayers paying for their insurance, the people who are getting the insurance actually have to pay for it. The size of the increase vary by state, age, and income. Why does that be? How could the size of the increase vary by state, age, and income? How does that make any sense? According to state data, which puts the average premium increase at 178%. Wow. Woke takeover of healthcare and teaching colleges has made for poorly qualified doctors. A primary field of Democrats is shaping up for the nomination to challenge McKenzie. They said they're hearing from people who are struggling to afford rising premiums. One of those Democrats, Ryan Crosswell, said rising insurance costs are a breaking of promises by Trump. Another Democrat, Carol Obande Dodadishtini, called for impending expiration of crisis of McKenzie's own making. Oh. Wouldn't the expiration be on the people who set them to expire? Says made clear repeatedly that he supports an extension, and I'm not the speaker, I don't set the calendar, I'm not the leader, I can't just call it bills. In McKenzie's district, more than 20,000 people received the enhanced tax credits. He won his race by 1 percentage point, or about 4,000 votes. One of those 20,000 people in McKenzie's district is Patrick Visconti, who switched to a low premium, high deductible plan because he couldn't afford to keep his plan with a premium that's more than doubled from under $200 to over $500 a month. What's this? Who else loves when Jim does his funny accents? Well, I try to mix it up. I try to be, I don't know. I think some people don't like it because I've noticed certain things happening, people making comments about it, other negative comments, and I don't know. I'm just trying to make the show fun for everybody and enjoyable. But I just want to point out that when I had to purchase an insurance plan for my son, who at the time was like 7 years old, 8 years old, I had to purchase a private insurance plan for a 7, 8-year-old. I was paying almost $900 a month back in 2011 or whatever it was. That's a lot of money for insurance for a kid who goes to the doctor once a year for a checkup. It was insane. It really was. It was insane. Oh. Wow, man, we got $20 from Barbie World. Says, Merry Christmas, Jim in the chat. What a pretty kitty. Look at that pretty kitty. Oh, man, look at that kitty cat. Very pretty. Thank you so much. Wow, and with that, we are now just $55 away from extending the show by an hour. The first additional hour. It could be a first of many additional hours, all depending on you guys in the chat, whatever you want to do. But thank you so much, Barbie World. Viscani59, who works as a self-employed landscaper and bus driver, said the plan he picked is crappy coverage. I'd rather pay the $200 a month, but I can't get anything for $200. Lynn Wiedner, home care worker in Mackenzie's district, who works nearly 80 hours a week, said her $400 premium will increase to $680. Well, if you're working 80 hours a week, you should have insurance through your employer. I thought that's also was part of Obamacare. If you work more than 36 hours in a week, you're supposed to get insurance. All full-time workers were supposed to have policies provided for them through their insurance. No state should be allocated any federal funding to administrate. This would remove the opportunity to game the system. I agree. John Cariaco was on Judge Napolitano today. I was at the Cariaco. That's the guy who exposed some stuff, but then didn't he also get arrested for some kind of child CP type of stuff? Administration. Sesame seed buns. I don't know what that means. Bella thinks that cat would look better deep fried and covered in cheese between grilled cheese sandwiches as the buns. Sesame seed buns. Yes. Okay, now I get it. 2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Will we ever get insurance relief? It's so expensive, I can hardly afford it. I mean, the best way to get insurance relief is for the government to get the hell out of it. It really is. And then insurance can only charge what people are willing to pay, and they can only offer things which people really need. I mean, the government mandating all these coverages that people don't need, like, why would women need prostate exams? But that's included in the insurance that they have to carry for women because, there's some people who might identify as a woman that might need a prostate exam. So all women have to have a coverage for prostate exam. Why would men need breast cancer screening? I mean, sure. I mean, some men, maybe a very small percentage might possibly get breast cancer at some point, glioblastoma, whatever it's called. But is it really that we need men to be, bum, 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 bum. She has various conditions, including an iron deficiency, that require regular medical care. So I'm trying to find places where I can cut money so I can afford insurance. And, I mean, does anybody really, insurance is not supposed to be this thing where you pay them less money all the time than they pay out for you. That's not how insurance is supposed to work. Insurance is supposed to be you're paying them in case something happens that you might need it. But it's not like if they know for a fact that if an insurance company knows that you're going to cost them $5,000 a year every year because you have these conditions, there's no way that they're going to give you insurance for less than $5,000 a year. It's going to be more than $5,000 a year. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's like if you have bought car insurance and the insurance company knows that you smash your car every year and total it, well, they're either not going to give you insurance, or they're going to charge you such a high premium that it's going to cover the cost of replacing that car every year. Why do doctors need expensive malpractice insurance? Aren't they already practicing on you? I think that's a scam too, because, it's very hard to sue a doctor for a malpractice. What TF says, I was VP at Bank of America making 6 figures. My insurance premiums for me and my daughter were $325 a month for great coverage. Now solo, not close to the same salary. I'm at over a 200% increase. Yeah, like I was in a union. We had great insurance. We paid a bunch of money, but we had great insurance. Like when my son was born, I paid, I think, $70 or $75. That's all it cost me to have him, for the whole hospital stay and the birth and everything, and for the whole shebang. what's it called? The thing in the back, the pain block thingy. I can't remember what it's called. Epidural. But that was it. And they handled everything. But then once Obamacare came around, my insurance, they had to change from being administered by the insurance trustees to being administered through Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Blue Cross Blue Shield's taking a premium, and then they're controlling everything, and then it was costing more and more money. I mean, you're talking thousands of dollars. Like you're each person in that union, and it didn't matter if you were married. Everyone paid the same amount in, no matter if you were married, single, had kids, whatever. Everyone paid the same amount in. And it came out to like if you work, because it came out a portion of your pay. So every hour you worked went towards it. So if you worked, 2,000 hours in a year, which most people did, it was $13 an hour was going towards it. So you were talking like, $26,000 a year for health insurance because of Obamacare. That's insane. You got the same thing here from AP. Swing district Republicans brace for political fallout if healthcare subsidies expire. See how this woman right here, she's really worried about her healthcare subsidy. She's a home healthcare worker, and the cost of her insurance plan will rise. Well, I could take one look at her, and this is not to be mean in any way, shape, or form, but this lady should be paying a lot of money for insurance. She's clearly unhealthy. There's clearly going to be a ton of expenses, diabetes, medication, heart problems, all these things. She's not well. You can't get nothing for free. Nobody rides for free. If you're sick, we probably should have some kind of catastrophic coverage for people that, I don't know. Maybe big fat people should be on Medicaid. I don't know. Cannibalistic Wizard says she's a blimp. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they should consider it a disability because they think they're disabled anyway. There was a story yesterday that we didn't get to about how the increase of the number of people that are kids that are in colleges, like prestigious colleges like Stanford and Harvard, it's like 30 to 40% of them claim to be disabled in some way or another. What? It's nuts. This is why nobody will be happy with government health care. People aren't taking care of themselves. Yeah, if you get government health care, these people like this, the government's going to say, oh, no, you have to stop eating. You have to do this. We can't pay for this. There'll be rationed care. People like this will be like, sorry, you just, we can't do anything. You need to just stop eating. Think about if Nick Rekieta was in charge of fat people's health care. He'd be like, oh, you're sick. You got diabetes. Stop eating. I imagine him standing at the gates waiting for her with his big goofy smile. Okay, that's a different thing. I missed out. Used to be called major medical coverage. Yeah, and that was a thing. Like, that's what I would have got for my son instead of having to pay all this money. I would have just got him in case, he broke a leg or something happened, something serious, like if you go to the doctor once or twice a year for health care, if you're a healthy person, and you don't have any major things, you shouldn't need to be paying thousands of dollars a year in insurance to go to the doctor once a year. I mean, I'm getting up there in age, and I do go to the doctor, regularly. But in reality, the amount of if I pay cash at the doctor's office, if I go 6 times a year, what's it costing me? $1,200 a year to go to the doctor. But you're paying $1,200 a month in insurance. Seems like that's a retarded, trade-off. It really is. Let's see. That opens up a can of worms. They shouldn't have access to our medical records. Who shouldn't have access? The government? Oh, yeah, no, I agree about that, yeah. Oh, hey, check it out, man. This is great. Viewers on Streamboat. Remove the space. Awesome. Thanks for letting me know. I think I saw her in Hell's Angels being circled by planes. Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. The movie Hell's Angels. Great movie, yeah. That was by the guy who, the plane guy, what was his Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes made that movie. Yes. It always seemed like a scam to me. But then here we go. Got Donald Trump says Obamacare extensions may be necessary. Wah, wah, wah. President Trump said Tuesday that an extension to the Obamacare subsidies may be necessary, but he would prefer a plan that made direct payments to American citizens instead. The Affordable Care Act, Obamacare subsidy set to expire at the end of the year, were the focus of Democrats' demands during the government shutdown. Some Republicans have pushed to let them expire, while others have argued they should be extended. The Senate is expected to vote on the future of the subsidies sometime in December. Rachel Boone says, the HIPAA laws were changed during COVID, I think she means. Our records were not as private as we think. While en route to Florida on Tuesday night, Trump was asked if he'd like to see the Obamacare subsidies extended. He said, I'd rather not. Somebody said I want to extend them for 2 years. I don't want to extend them for 2 years. I'd rather not extend them at all. Some kind of extension may be necessary to get something else done because the Unaffordable Care Act has been a disaster. When asked what kind of healthcare policy he would like to see, Trump said it would involve the federal government giving money to people to purchase their own plans. Yes. Like we don't have enough inflation as it is with just the federal government giving money to people. What happened when the federal government just gave a bunch of money to people during COVID? Wow, inflation went through the friggin' roof. On to the next story. You'll notice I don't have a bunch of stuff tonight from X. I'm trying to get away from just taking stories off of X. I have some stuff for X, but I'm just trying to do stories that are news stories from different sources and see how that goes and see what people like. Hey, Yankee Free is here. What's up? Great to see you. How long will you be on? It all depends on you, the fans. All right, the show is going to be on at least. Let's see here. At least another hour and a half or longer, unless we hit the goal. And we are currently, $55 away from adding an extra hour. The way this show works, there, Yankee, is that. For every $100 in total that comes in across every platform, PayPal, Cash App, Ko-Fi, Ko-fi, whatever it is, gifted memberships, people becoming members on YouTube or Rumble, and also Super Chats and Rumble Rants, the show goes on an extra hour for every 100. I add it all up, and this show may never end if the money just keeps coming in. I'll just be here. I'll have to pee in a jar or something and just keep the show going. I can never leave the chair. I'll just be stuck here. Yeah, Jim was banging on time. It was straight from Next News Network early payout. I don't know. The border czar says 62,000 illegally smuggled children were rescued so far. Wow. I think this means something. Let me look. It does. Wow, Yankee Free gifted 5 subs. 5 subs. Over on Rumble. If you're not on Rumble and you want a free sub, head on over to Rumble and pick up a free sub. There's still 3 out there waiting to get picked up. Yes. Thank you. It says Sanglant 86 was gifted a sub, and Gundam Zig was gifted a sub, and Neurodivergent was gifted a sub, and Cannibalistic Wizard was gifted a sub, and Wise Elf was gifted a sub. I got the Ghetto Clap. Now I got a 30-day rash. Well, yeah, so that's 5 gifted subs on Rumble. So that means now that's another $25 off of the goal. So that makes it to be $30, folks. $30 until we add an extra hour of the show. Wow. Thank you so much there, Yankee Free. That was very nice of you. Private insurance was killed with Medicare. The state was buying a percentage of lowest charge for given things, so insurance companies want it in. Now you can't give anyone a break. Jody says, congratulations on the rash, y'all. Y'all. Yes. The free sub I got was a shrimp po' boy. Man, I love po' boys. Yes. Wise Elk says, thank you, brother. Yankee Free. That's right. Hello, Don. Yeah. She is on a slow kill plan. Heavy antibiotics and 90 days starts at 3 days. Okay, so I think I'm into something. Ivermectin once. Okay, I think I might be in a conversation. If the heartworms are adults, but you guys are talking about a dog with a heartworm. Oh, that's brutal. I hope your dog is okay, man. I love my dog. I don't know what I would do. I don't even want to think about it. Tom Holman said in a weekend interview that some were in sex trafficking, were subjected to forced labor, or were abused. Robbie Rose says, I'm on Rumble now. Paying. Yes. All the people that went over to Rumble, I want to thank you. Make sure you hit the like and make sure you subscribe on Rumble or whatever it is. Let's subscribe, follow. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called over there. They got a different word for it. But it is what it is, what it is, what it is. That's what it is. I got a tism over here. One says, check out Yankee Free and his channels over here on Rumble too. Back in the day, Medicare was only for those on SSDI. Once Obama changed the insurance rules, like having to wait 2 years to have any insurance. John Kuroki didn't expose himself. He was a whistleblower. He went to jail and got tortured. Okay. No, I'm not saying he did anything. They might have planted the stuff on his computer, but he did get charged with having some kind of images on his computer or something. They probably planted him there. Don't trust the FBI, man. YouTubers beware. The ghetto is a place of special people with special ways of communicating. Okay. There's Tom Holman. He's doing a great job. The Lord's work. White House borders are Tom Holman on December 7th, a day that will live in infamy. After we were the deceitful sneak attack by the Japanese, said that more than 60,000 children who were illegally smuggled into the United States have been located by the Trump administration and that some were rescued from dire situations. She said it was a situation that's bad. I said they were dire, like life-threatening. They could be dire. They were dire. You said dire, including sex trafficking and forced labor. In the interview on Fox News, Fox and Friends on December 7th, Holman said the previous administration lost track of 300,000 children who were smuggled into the U.S., saying that some of those children, they were released to unvetted sponsors. And those sponsors were some bad hombres. They did some sick things to those kids. Since President Trump took office in January, 62,000 children who were taken into the U.S. have been found by the U.S. government as of December 5th. Holman said that many of them are in sex trafficking or forced labor. They're being abused, and we rescued them. So congratulations and thank you. And, high praise for rescuing kids. You'll pay it forward? Oh, thank you, Neurodivergent One. So Neurodivergent One gifted a sub. Thank you, Neurodivergent One. And it says Jody was gifted a membership by Neurodivergent One. So that, my friends, brings us to what just happened. Oh, wrong thing. I almost did something. That brings us down to just $25, man. Just $25 away from an extra hour added to the show. Thank you. It comes up like this. It just does this. I can see when a chat comes up from the ghetto with nothing in it, generally that means there was a membership. And then it says that Jody was gifted a membership by Neurodivergent One. Neuro, you're the best. Yes. Unprotected chat is best chat. Yes. I approve the current administration's focus on current missing children. There are reports, but usually only local news channels. The MSM ignores. And it's sad. Why would they ignore stories about missing kids? You would think that would be everything. He also said, I can't discuss some of the mistreatment we found out about. Probably because there's ongoing, legal cases and they can't be talking about the stuff. 30 days and the rash goes away. Holman said that Trump committed to doing everything possible to find every one of these children. He did not provide more details about the rescued children, but said that the administration saved over 62,000 child's lives. Says Karen O says that read ORR regulations, Office of Refugee and Resettlement, I believe is what that stands for. It's awful. Sponsors do not have to be U.S. citizens or a green card, undocumented, i.e. illegal aliens. Yes, and they don't even have to be related. They can just lie and say they're related even though they're not. They say they're related, but they're snot. Get it? See Bella's face? Look how pretty Bella looks. Look at Bella. Look at Bella's face. Look at that. Bella face. She just laying there, the Bellas. She just laying there, the Bella girl. You're saying because the kids weren't missing? You don't think the kids were missing? I don't know. They're saying they were. Dems don't care because they can't vote, but those assaulting them can. They are against anything that makes Trump look good. It's shameful. Why not care about missing kids? Because they're connected? Maybe. You know, maybe, I don't know. I mean, did you ever hear the stories about some of the weird shit that the Podestas have in their house? Like pictures of some sick shit. Like if you saw it, like I heard Tucker talking about it, and he's like, these paintings and these pictures, why would people have this? Like, what's going on with these people, these sick people? If you walked into someone's house and saw pictures of kids covered in blood and eating bodies and naked stuff and, you know, paintings, like, oh, but that's art. When you go like, you're a sick fuck, get away from me, because I'd be like, you're a sick fuck. Yeah, saying I remember care much better. They no longer have any private hospitals here. The big hospitals bought out all the other ones. Do we have to rub ointment on the rash? No, you don't have to rub ointment per se on the rash, but they say a good way to make the rash go away is a $5 Rumble rant. Just saying. I'm kidding. What the F says, it's been his life dream to open up a vet clinic that takes a sliding scale payments of senior citizens that care would be minimal. Some senior only have their pets to live for. Yeah. Socialized care now, it's an hour's drive to the hospital in Calhoun County unless you live in Anniston or Oxford. That's snake oil. Sorry. Ointment. You got a 17-year-old with liver issues and 2 that are 11 years old. Yes, very costly medical. I'm glad yours is managed well. That's great. Wintick Mike says, I'm here because YouTube deletes all those accounts during early scamdemic, but still censors, shadow bans people too much. What type of rash? The rash that they got from the gifted membership on Rumble. They're saying it's a 30-day rash. It's like a joke, you know, like gifted, you know, YouTube gifted memberships, the same thing, 30-day rash. 30-day green. You got a green rash for 30 days. Barb says, my sister has been missing for 20 years now. We think the cartel murdered her. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Ointment is haram. A statement released by U.S. Customs and Border Protection on December 5th stated that the number of border encounters is continuing to decline, when only 30,000 total encounters were reported nationwide in November. That's down from 30,573 in October. Border Patrol also says released zero illegal aliens into the country for 7 consecutive months. And Karen says, I like being green. They got the monkeypox. That's the rash they're talking about. Yes. And that's Soar has rated the stream. SoarNet. Thank you, Soar, for rating the stream on Rumble. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And double down 7232 says Rumble Flag, great to see you. Greg Ohio, great to see you. Yankee Free, yeah, great to see all you guys. Green Siren, Rumble Flag, awesome. In December 2024, the final month of President Sleepy Joe Biden's administration, there were more than 300,000 encounters at the southwest border sector alone. There were about 11,600 such encounters in September 2025, the most recent month for which data was available. Hey, we got Firepaw, what's up? And Crazy Duds here too. Awesome. Woohoo. Woohoo. Yeah, we got Beyond the Noise is rated to stream too, it says. Wow, so we got Behind the Noise is rated to stream. Wow, we got a lot of Street Raymond going on. It comes up different? Oh, so Beyond the Noise is the stream. All right, I get it now. So it came up different for some reason on StreamYard. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate the raid, man, on Rumble. It's been hard to grow on Rumble. Get his bread supplies. Hamburglar helper. Okay, I'll try. Smash those buttons. Yes. Our focus is unwavering. Secure the border, enforce the law, and protect this nation. CBP Commissioner Rodney Scott said in a December 5th statement, these numbers reflect the tireless efforts of our agents and officers who are delivering results that redefine border security. We're not slowing down. We're setting the pace for the future. Says, Beyond the Noise is Yankee Free and Republic Sentinel. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Yes, hit the follow, like, and repost comments buttons if you haven't already. Yes, please do. Please do. Oh. We're not slowing down. We're only setting the pace for the future. Border Patrol efforts and the mass deportation of illegal immigrants are in line with campaign promises made by Trump during his 2024 presidential campaign. And since taking office, he has signed multiple executive orders and memorandums, including declaring an emergency at the U.S.-Mexican border, designating several cartels and criminal gangs as terrorist organizations, and launching federal operations targeting illegal aliens in Chicago, Los Angeles, and other cities. The Supreme Court agreed on December 5th to hear a case challenging the legality of an executive order issued by Trump that sought to end birthright citizenship for illegal alien kids and people not permanent residents in the country. So people not subject to the jurisdiction. Exactly what it says in the 14th Amendment. It's not going to end birthright citizenship for people that are legally, permanently here in the country. Like, you, me, or anybody that's a citizen has a kid, it's birthright citizenship. Anyone who's got a green card, more than likely, they're going to say that that's fine. They have a kid. Green card, okay, your kid's a citizen. But other than that, no. That's kind of the way it's supposed to be. Multiple lower courts have ruled against Trump. Well, okay, so multiple lower courts. Oh, okay. Huh. Yeah, which would bar children born in the United States to parents who are in the country illegally from automatically becoming citizens. Yes. Why would we allow people that are here illegally, that we didn't give permission to be here, that snuck in and just plop out a kid in the literal definition of an anchor baby? Yeah, Crazy Dude says, "What's up, Barbie World?" Hey, Jim, Sunshine, great to see you. Awesome to be here, Sunshine. Thank you. Democrats have been broadly critical of the Trump administration's immigration policies. Well, yeah, they want all the illegals they can get to pack districts because they're voting. A House lawmaker introduced a bill that would prohibit the use of federal funds to enforce any order barring birthright citizenship. Oh. At the state level, multiple governors and mayors have also been opposed to federal deportation operations. Meanwhile, in the past week, the Trump administration paused all immigrant. I want to talk about this. So they're going to bar any money used to enforce an order barring birthright citizenship. Okay. Well, how would that work exactly? Because all you would say is like, okay, we're not going to spend any money on not issuing passports. We're not going to spend any money on saying, no, we're just not going to. Okay, so we can't determine, so you're not a citizen. Prove you're a citizen. It says, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie wool. You're fantastic, made of plastic. At the state level, multiple governors and mayors have also been opposed to the federal deportation operations. Meanwhile, in the past week, the Trump administration paused all immigration applications, including applications for green cards from people from 19 countries. I heard they raised it to 30 countries, but that's just what I heard. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I just say. That's what I say. Part of the sweeping immigration changes in the wake of the shooting of 2 National Guard troops. A policy memo issued on the website of the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, the agency tasked with processing and approving all federal requests for immigration benefits, said the policy applies to citizens from Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, the Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Yemen, Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. The Epoch Times contacted the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees border and immigration-related matters, for additional comment, but did not hear back by the publication time. The Associated Press continued to this report. Okay, there's that. And then OAN has the same thing here. Holman proclaims Trump administration has rescued 62,000 migrant children from sex trafficking and forced labor. Why was this little girl out in this field? What was she picking in the field? Does this make any sense? What they were doing with these kids in the fields? Same thing from the New York Post. Trump administration rescued 62,000 kids from sex trafficking, child labor. Borders are Holman says. Yes. Sunshine says, so glad to be here. I love the Supremes are finally taking this up. Me too. Me too. All right. And then Holman also spoke out about the operation targeting the Shmellies in Minnesota. It should go in Minnesota. Holman dismissed accusations that the agents from ICE stopped people just because they look Shmelly. They look Shmelly. And this is, look at this. Naveen Athrapuli. Maybe Naveen Athrapuli should mind his own business in his own country instead of telling us how we do things here in the United States. Just a thought. Go back to India. The Trump administration immigration crackdown on Shmellies in Minnesota is targeted at illegal aliens and felons. White House border czar said in a December 7th interview. With CNN dismissing concerns of unjust targeting, there is a large illegal alien Somali community there. If you're a U.S. citizen, you have nothing to fear. We're looking for criminal aliens. And also, if you're a resident alien and you have a felony conviction, by statute, you could be set up for deportation. That's right. If you're a resident alien with a felony conviction, you automatically lose the right to be in the U.S. We don't need to import any more criminals. We've got a whole bunch of criminals all over the place in Chicago and New York and L.A. that are native-born criminals. We don't need foreign criminals coming here. All right, that's just taking crime away from. It's not bad enough that we bring illegal aliens into this country and aliens in here to take jobs away from American citizens. Now we're taking crime opportunities away from our American criminals. And let's face it, our American criminals are kind of lazy. They need all the help they can get. So we need to get these foreigners out of here so that the homegrown criminals can have the chance to commit those crimes for themselves. So we're looking for public safety threats, national security threats, and illegal aliens. Holman said authorities just don't know how many illegal Somalis are in Minnesota, citing that more than 2 million gotaways who entered the United States under Joe Biden. Gotaways are illegals who successfully evade the Border Patrol and law enforcement after crossing the border and end up residing all across the United States, all across America. There's smelly aliens. Isn't that a song by Neil Diamond? Welcome to Somalia's today. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. President Trump is fixing the previous 4 years of open border policies, he said, and authorities are going to focus on illegal aliens and public safety threats in the Minnesota-St. Paul Twin Cities region. ICE to focus on Twin Cities due to criminal activity. That's right, lots of crime. Like $8 billion worth of crime and fraud coming out of Somalis. And if it weren't a sanctuary city, many of these people would have been apprehended in the public safety and security of the county jail, but because they're a sanctuary city, we got to send more resources there to flood the zone. Because it takes a whole team. It takes a village to find the smellies and get them out of the country. It really does. Where it would take one agent to arrest one bad guy in a county jail, we now need a whole team of them. They go, I am sick of people saying they bring food. Crazy Dud can make chop suey with a trip to the grocery store and intuition. He can make anything. Oh, that's awesome. I love chop suey. I especially love the cream of some young guy. Sanctuary jurisdictions are places where local or state officials refuse to enforce federal immigration law or cooperate with federal immigration authorities. Minnesota is one of the states that follow such sanctuary policies, according to an August 5th statement from the Department of Justice. They look like llamas. Okay. Ha! Like Lorenzo Lamas? They look like Lorenzo Lamas? Homan dismissed accusations that agents from Immigration and Customs Enforcement stop people just because they look smelly. So does KD. How's about that? ICE agents undergo Fourth Amendment training every 6 months, he said, and Border Patrol also undergoes such training. The Fourth Amendment protects people from unreasonable searches and seizures by government authorities. Hey, Marjorie, what's up, man? So great that you showed up tonight. It's awesome to see you. Tim Pool's detonation in the earlier part of the show was great, but his numerology guest, sweet mother. He had a numerologist on? What is going on with Tim Pool? I heard he was quitting the internet. I heard he has enough that he's saying he's not making any money anymore. Did he really say he's not making enough money to cover the Timcast IRL show anymore? Like, how is that possible? How is that physically possible? He's not making enough money to cover the cost of the show. It's a fucking show, man. He's retiring, yeah. He said he's retiring. I think so, yeah. Yankee, I think Jim tells you would be a great addition to bourbon and beer one of those weeks. Oh. One bourbon, one shot, one beer, and some cocaine. Holman was asked about Trump's alleged referring to smelly migrants as garbage. Well, garbage does smell, and smellies are garbage. So there you go. It's just, it's like a circle of life. Garbage smells, Somalis smell, smellies. The president's statement triggered the Dems. Yes, they were triggered. Camelot just announced it. Oh, okay. Well, okay, Camelot knows. It's disgusting that Trump's hateful words calling smellies garbage has continued to go unchecked by members of the Republican Party. Representative Ilhan, I married my brother Omar, I guess maybe anyone who actually listened would have known that Trump called Ilhan Omar garbage, not all the smellies. I called all the smellies garbage. Trump only called Ilhan Omar garbage. I guess Tim is retiring as fast as a congressman. He's going on a holiday hiatus and considering how to rework the show. He may cut out in-person guests and consider a move. His security is money. He says he can't afford the security. Hamburger Helper used mini chainsaw yesterday. It was a great. I want one. Hey, what's up, Kinger? Great to see you. Thanks for dropping by on Twitch. Thanks for being here. Tim Pool should probably just hire a biker gang or someone to watch his compound. I don't know. Like they did. The Hells Angels guarded, Altamont for the Rolling Stones, right? No, Tim said the security costs are now so high that 80% of the Timcast revenue goes for paying for it. So he wants to stop Timcast and just do the morning show from a secret location. Yeah, but the majority of like his live stuff with the, Timcast IRL is like he gets huge views on it. I don't understand. Like he gets 40, 50, 80,000 live viewers. That's huge. That's like, what are you guys talking about, Tim Waltz? Well, they're talking about Tim Pool in the chat, that Tim Pool's quitting the internet. He takes the time off every year the news was getting shot at. Okay. So they will silence free speech by causing security requirements to be too expensive. Yeah, that's what will happen. Ilhan Omar was born in Smelia. Responded to the controversy, Holman said Trump was referring to public safety threats and national security threats from Smelia and every other country. Part of the detonation was a guest defending Candace, saying she's under threat and needs security, and she's lying about it. Okay. Didn't Tim pull one of the same stunts last year? I think he did, actually. Talking about he was going to maybe end the show. But he was talking about there was going to be a bunch of changes. That was because he was having a baby. And he wasn't sure what he was going to do, if he's going to be able to do the show. And so this could just be another thing. It's going to be one of those things like the Jeremy from the Quartering always does every year around the same time. Says, my channel's under attack. What am I going to do? My channel's under attack. Like right now, my channel's under attack by Charles, gifted 5 memberships. Wow, what am I going to do?
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
And with that, folks, we hit the first extra hour of the show. Thank you, Charles. Let's see who got those from Charles. We got Mama Pillow, received a gifted membership from Charles. J. Marco, Doc, number 27, Just Dawn, a Soulless Ginger, and Sheila Marie all received a gifted membership from Charles. Thank you, Charles. And with that, folks, we are now $95 away from a second additional hour of the show. That's right, you heard it. $95 away from a second additional hour of the show. Hey, Fran VT, what's up? Tim said he had to escalate the security team to level that threats for his property. He would lose money. Let's see how long we can get Jim to stay on. Like I said, for every $100 in total that comes in, I add an hour to the show. So I got plenty of Red Bull. I won't say what else I have, but I have stuff, and I will keep going. What's up? Not just sitting here listening to my roommates bitch and complain. Well, you know what they say about roommates that bitch and complain. You need better roommates? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, Jim, Charles, why are you putting Jim at risk? Yeah, he's putting me at risk. Don't put me at risk. Oh, yeah. When asked about if Trump's statement covered the entire smelly community, Holman said he's not aware of what President Trump was thinking when he said it. But because he said it specifically, he said it about Ilhan Omar. Let's see. Is Jim going to be another Nick? No, I'm not going to be another Nick. I don't do cocaine. All right. I'll just say it right now. I don't do drugs. I hardly drink. Oh my God. Yankee Free gifted another 5 memberships. Another 5 memberships. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Yankee Free. And it says that Woodtick Mike received a gifted membership. Liz, 1916, received a gifted membership. Barbie World received a gifted membership. Jay Henry, 115, received a gifted membership. And Crazy Dude received a gifted membership. Thank you so much, Yankee Free. So with that, now we are... Let's see here. $70 away from a second additional hour. Thank you so much, Yankee Dude. Thank you, Yankee Dude. Yankee Dude, thank you. Wow, nice. Wrench Turner says, what's up? Thank you. Congrats on the red rashes, people. No jokes. Yeah, congrats on the rashes. Mom Pill says, thanks, Charles, for the membo. What Dick Mike says, thanks for the membo. Welcome to the rash. You got to get that rash on your ash.
Let me ask you a question.
How's your rash? It's 15 degrees here now. Wow. Some countries from which illegal immigrants are flowing into America don't have the databases the United States had, Holman says, and they don't even do proper checks before they issue a passport to their citizens. When asked about the aggressive tactics employed by ICE, Holman said that there was significant uptick in violence against law enforcement officials. Yeah, there is. There's like all these attacks and stuff. And Barbie World says, thank you, Jim. No, thank you, Barbie World. Thank you. And threats on ICE officers are up 1,200%. They're being doxxed on social media. They're getting death threats every day. They've been attacked. They've been shot at. They've been rammed with cars. It's nuts. And these officers are out there. They're looking for the worst of the worst, so they're protecting themselves. And I think they're following the law. And if any ICE officer or Border Patrol agent acts out of policy or does something inappropriate, they'll be held accountable. They will. It's red and it itches. It does, but it'll go away in 30 days. It only lasts 30 days. Pam says, I only do drugs that are prescribed for me, but I wish I had some CBD gummies, no THC. You can, like, I don't know what state you're in. I mean, you can get stuff like that here in Florida, but you need to get, it's only medical stuff. And you can get like CBD or and different gummies. I think CBDs and THC are mixed, or they have hybrid or whatever and stuff. I don't even do those. I don't. My years or my times of partaking in illicit substances is long past. Long past. But we got to remember, I mean, they're under attack, and we're at a place in this country where all of a sudden the ones who enforce the law are the bad guys. The ones who wrote the laws are the victims. Oh, you're in Illinois, so it's legal? Oh, that's right. In Illinois, you don't even need a card, right? You just go in. Crazy Dude goes, wow, Jim. You get the joke. You see. You get it. ICE enforcement. There are nearly 80,000 smellies living in Minnesota, according to the data from the Minnesota Compass that just basically tracks the smellies around. And then a social indicators project, the Twin Cities region accounts for about 78% of the smelly immigrants in the country, in the state, I mean. It's gang, what am I doing here? What happened? It's gangrene over here. Oh, that's cool. Just Don Solutions said, hey, y'all. Hey, Jim. Thanks for the Charles for the very generous gift. Awesome. I put CBD oil on my gun. I forgot how to go off. And I forgot how to go off. Good one. It's been in the 40s here all week. We're supposed to break 50 tomorrow. That's awesome. I know it's been freezing here, man. Oh, my God. It was like 78 today. I couldn't even go in the pool. It was so cold. The other Gagak says, Jim did an 8-hour show. He does work for the money. I work hard for the money. I work hard for the money. You better treat me right. Burr, yeah, it was cold. That's what I said. Although these allowing illegals to enter are on the list. Yes, that's what I say. Put them on the list. 26 there. You need to clean that and never give it CBD again. It may go off one day. It may need to go off one day, yeah. Members are highlighted green. Legal weed destroyed Oregon, state-run liquor stores, but a dispensary on every corner. Wow. It was 5 inches of snow in Southeast Virginia today. Wow. Crazy Dude has some of the great content too. Check out his channel. Awesome. And I'm going camping and fishing for Christmas. It's nice to It's nice out. Oh, that's cool. Bella's face is off the screen. Okay, I fix it. I tried to blow it up so that it was bigger. There you go. There you go. Better. Check out CBD Distillery. They have no THC gummies. So on November 21st, Trump announced that he was rescinding the temporary protected status for smelly immigrants living in Minnesota. Smelly gangs are terrorizing the people of that great state, and billions of dollars are missing. Billions of dollars are missing, like 8 billions, maybe more. He wrote in a post on Truth while suggesting that Minnesota was the hub of fraudulent money laundering activity. Well, it's not suggestion. It's the don't hit the shot collar. No, never. Minnesota Governor Tim the Retard Waltz says that he's going to take all the tampons out of the bathrooms and stuff them in people's ears so that they can't hear the insults. And he criticized the ICE operations in the Twin Cities, and he welcomed support in investigating and prosecuting crime, but pulling a PR stunt and indiscriminately targeting immigrants is not the real solution to a problem. I think it's a solution to the problem. It could be really real. I mean, think about it. If you have a problem with illegal aliens or immigrants, whatever you want to call them, committing crimes and stealing a bunch of money, well, if you deport them all, they can't commit those crimes and steal a bunch of money. Oh, I think Crazy Dude just did something. I see something right there. Let me see what that was. Whatever that was. What is that? That usually means something happened in the ghetto. And Crazy Dude gifted one membership. It says Hamburger Helper was gifted a membership by a Crazy Dude. Well, thank you. And with that now, folks, we are... $65 away from a second additional hour of the show. And it's a really good show. Supersized Bella is appreciated. Gifted sub. I think I just got it. Geez, Katie, thank you. Yeah, I think I got it. You owe a few racks of ribs airmailed. Yeah, I think I got it. Yeah, I got it. Hey, Eastwind Farms, what's up? Great to see you tonight, man. Thanks for stopping by. December 4th, the Department of Homeland Security said a string of arrests has been made as part of Operation Metro Surge, an immigration enforcement operation in Minneapolis, detaining individuals considered the worst of the worst of the worst criminal aliens. Do you guys remember a movie called The Best of the Best? With Eric Roberts and Chris Penn and some Asian dude. I don't remember the other people. Great movie. Best of the best. We're the best around. No one's ever gonna take us down. Or is that from Cobra Kai? I don't know. Anyway. Assistant DHS Secretary Tricia McLaughlin accused local officials of instituting sanctuary policies allowing pedophiles, domestic terrorists, and gang members to roam the streets and terrorize Americans. Many individuals arrested as part of immigration crackdowns are Somali immigrants, Somali nationals. Naveen Athrapuli. Well, thank you for the story, Athrapuli. This is just as Border Czar Tom Homan fires back at CNN host in defense of ICE tactics. They've been shot at. Stabbed, kicked, burned. You name it. Oh, what's killer pasta fagioli? Actually, it's pronounced pasta fazool, but I call it pasta fagioli.
So there's reasonable suspicion that you're talking about. There is releasing somebody once they're comfortable that they are a U.S. citizen. And then there's just the aggressive tactics that we are seeing in video after video. You're comfortable with those tactics that we're all seeing with our own eyes?
I voted for this.
Look, threats on ICE officers are up 1,200%. They're being doxxed on social media. They're getting death threats every day. They've been attacked. They've been shot at. And you know, these officers out there look for the worst of the worst. So They're protecting themselves, and I think they're following the law. And if any ICE officer, border patrol agent acts out of policy or does something inappropriate, they'll be held accountable. But we got to remember, I mean, they're under attack, and we're at a place in this country where all of a sudden the ones who enforce the law are the bad guys, and the ones who broke the laws are victims. I'm going to trust the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol who've been trained very well. They're doing the right thing. But I'll say again, if someone does something inappropriate, out of policy, illegal, they need to be held accountable. But I simply think I haven't seen that. And again, I'm not in every arrest. I'm not in every operation. I trust the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol to do the right thing.
I'm too. I think they're going to do the right thing. Do the right thing. Great Spike Lee movie. Home and owners have seen a large increase in threats and attacks against them. Yes, they have.
So there's reasonable suspicion that you're talking about. There is.
Dave Ramsey, personal
No, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop. Get out of here.
Dave Ramsey.
Get out of here. He defended the tactics of Immigration Customs Enforcement on Sunday, telling Dana Bash that they are receiving death threats and attacks daily. There's a recent viral video of a U.S. citizen being arrested by ICE officers in Florida despite his insistence that ICE doesn't arrest legal citizens. Okay, here's the thing. They arrest legal citizens who commit crimes in front of them. You commit a crime, you attack an ICE officer, you break a law in front of a federal agent, they're going to arrest you. Oh, Kevin, what's up? Great to see you. Favorite gym shirt? Well, thank you. I wore it just for you. I knew it makes you I know it makes you feel happy inside, so I wore it. Hamburger says, "Man, I'm just kidding. I don't want no shit." What is that? What? What's real? I'm confused. Says, those tactics have many very real issues, including deterring border crossing and encouraging self-deportations, both which are vital, yes. But no, if an American citizen attacks ICE, rams them with their car, starts interfering or stopping, doing something, breaking the law, committing a crime in front of an ICE agent, a Border Patrol agent, any federal law enforcement officer has the full capability to enforce any federal law. And actually, they have also the ability to enforce any state law. Any law that is a state law, the federal government can pick it up and enforce it. That's the way the Supremacy Clause works. So that's how that works. No, I just say, let me get some of that fagioli soup. Oopsies. Me and an old lady this weekend is against the ballroom because there's never been any renos at the White House, and she thinks it's all been torn down and destroyed. Dana doesn't understand the word enforcement. Sometimes it's fun to order Chinese food and butcher the names. Oh, yeah, that could be fun. Yeah. But don't ever go, give me fried rice. I want fried rice. Because they might, but they may spit in it. Yes, don't do that. Your uncle wore shirts like this for your bowling league. This is a bowling shirt. That's what they call it, a bowling shirt. Not that I would ever bowl in this shirt. I'm at war with YouTube. But good for you, Snarf. YouTube didn't notify you. Maybe because I went early. I did have to go early because Joe went early, ended early, so I had to go early. The solution is illegal alien has to vote for Republicans for 20 years and they can stay, but Dems will get them out faster than Holman. That would be funny, wouldn't it? I guarantee if that was the case, if they thought they were voting for Republicans, oh man, Democrats would be going crazy to get them out. She had no idea that Obama ruined some gardens and such for tennis courts. No, Obama built basketball courts. She was shocked when I told her. She really had no idea. 3D printer chicken. Huh. That could be interesting. She believes ICE is kidnapping American citizens. The Yankee found another good stream. Make sure you follow Jim. Well, I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it. I try to have fun. I try to give people information about the news, stories that I find interesting. I try to have fun. I try to participate in the chat, talk to people, get to know them, learn a little about you, a little bit about me, and then have a good time. And I hope you guys like it. I hope you come back. I hope you hit the like button, give me the old plus sign, tickle the plussy, as they say. And, hi, all. I got caught up with other stuff. Well, KPT, we were waiting for you to get here. Now that you're here, we can finally start the show. Everyone, finally, oh, you want fried ice, Loud Eye? We fix it right up for you. Hey, KBT, great to see you. That's what I say. I like a creamy young someone guy. So there's reasonable suspicion you're talking about, and then there's releasing somebody. Yeah, and then ICE. Yes, we saw all this stuff. He vows to enforce immigration laws without apology. Good. He continues, but we've got to remember, I mean, they're under attack, and we're in a place in this country, all of a sudden, the ones who enforce the law are bad guys. We saw all this. All right, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to go move on to the next story. Oh, and look at this. This is how bad Marjorie Taylor Greene has gotten. Look at this. Even in Germany, look what they're saying. Abonnente Greene packatar oisha so lacken die Republikaner heimlich era Trump. That's crazy, right? Let me translate that from the old Sprechen Sie Deutsch. Representative Green unpacks. This is how Republicans secretly laugh at Trump. Say what? Say what? We can finally shart the sow. If I shart, that would be a problem. Hey, Valhalix, do it. $20 to make you holla. Oh, okay, let's see. Really? You got paid to do the wild thing? Smash all the buttons. Barbie Rose says, I love American food. Yeah, most people don't realize, especially Americans, they think Chinese food and they think it's the American Chinese food we have here. It's not the same as if you go to China. I'm way behind, but you don't get an ER bill if you have no insurance and are illegal. We pay people. We the people pay. That's right. You don't. Anyone watch MTG on 60 Minutes? I watched. There was a clip I watched of it, but I don't know. She's just she's burning up her own. She's basically setting a torch to her own credibility and all her stuff. I mean, I hear. See, if you look at it, it looks like she's got that giant black phallic object in her mouth. I mean, it's in there. I mean, she's taking it all the way down her throat. Marjorie Taylor Greene criticizes Trump again and reveals many Republicans are secretly making fun of him. Marjorie Taylor Greene has, in one interview with CBS, gone over again U.S. President Trump unpacked less than a month before her announced resignation from Congress. She spoke openly about her party colleagues' fear of Trump and their double standards. Yeah, not the first time, definitely. Had real Chinese food in Germany. Ours is San Francisco Chinese. Yep. She is being advised by her former intern, Milo, who has burned himself down the last few days. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure Milo showed her how to do that with that black phallic object because he's an expert at that. I just go and say whatever. You missed it. You're glad you did. I don't like watching televised suicides. Well, MTG burning all her bridges. Yeah, she's such a disappointment. Are you saying Chinese food was gay? Milo was her intern? Yeah, Milo works for her. Milo's her. Eating in Hong Kong was interesting. The old lady cutting up raw chicken with scissors was nice enough to cut the noodles we were eating with those same scissors. Oh, that's great. You know what? It's always good with some Chinese food as a side of salmonella. Always makes you feel good. Guarantees you won't gain any weight. This country is a joke. Yeah. But the joke's on us because we put up with it. Yeah. Trump is laughed at behind closed doors. Green said that Trump is fucking hysterical, man. The jokes he cracks, the shit he says. I mean, he's a riot. He's like a stand-up comedian. So yeah, people laugh. It would shock people if they knew how they talk about him. And who's they when she's saying they? Is she the they? The people she's with? And then we got Iowa Backyard Cam's been a member for 1 month. Thank you so much. Remember to hit the like button. That's right, people. Remember to hit the like button. Please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Please remember to like and subscribe and become a member of the channel. Years ago, one of the 2 Chinese restaurants here was caught with cats in the freezer, though. Turned me off Chinese for a very long time. Yeah, but they say, I don't know It's always been a rumor, honestly, that the Chinese food places were using cats and rats and dogs and stuff. Same thing, honestly, in Chicago. That's what they said about the Mexican restaurants on 63rd Street. They said, "Do you see any stray dogs or cats around here?" No. Where are they? In the burritos. I don't think that's true. I mean, I don't know though. Sometimes the meat did taste different. That's all I'll say. One thing about Trump is they listen. Yeah. Alabama John says he wants to talk to you right now. He's also live on Rumble. Come by when you are free. Purple, you come in here and you say this pretty much every night. And I've been told that you purposely do this because you're trying to pull people away. I have no clue who Alabama John is. No clue. No clue. Yes. Trump is a professional troll. That's what I think so. Yeah. Is that like salmon, salmonella? Yeah. It's salmon that you, Yeah. Purple, you have to stop that. You really do. You have to stop that because it's becoming annoying. She added that some colleagues who used to taunt Trump suddenly became his supporters after his victory in 2024. They started crawling up his ass and putting on MAGA hats for the first time. And Trump goes, you're fired. You heard somebody tonight say Milo spent his exile digging dirt on everybody, and now he just wants revenge, burn it all down. Who cares who he hurts? I can see that. I can see that. Milo's always been a wackadoo, complete wackadoo, always. Asians do eat different food, if you can call it food. Fish guts to me, yeah. And then like what's it? Anemones they eat, and like anemones, whatever those are called, and sea urchins. Who's Milo? You don't know who Milo is? Milo Yiannopoulos, the gay Greek Christian who say he prayed the gay away, but is still married to a black man. That Milo, the guy that's basically at war with Laura Loomer, another kind of crazy person that I wouldn't want to get on my bad side. Wouldn't want to be on the bad side of any of these people. Just kind of stay away. You stay over there. I'll stay over here. According to Green, many Republicans remain silent for fear of Trump's reactions. They're all afraid he'll attack them publicly, whether through a post on Truth or by other means. Who is Milo? You guys seriously don't know who Milo Yiannopoulos is? The trouble is that Milo is entertaining and near genius level intelligence. He's very smart, but he's not You didn't take off Iowa Backcars membership? It wasn't a membership. It was just a comment. It was just a message. It wasn't a membership. It was just a message. It was just a message that she's been a member for 1 month. That's not a becoming a member. That's somebody that could have been a gifted membership from somebody. I don't know. I don't keep track of that stuff. That's just somebody saying I've been a member for a month. And so every month you're a member, you get a free member chat. I don't take that off. Yeah. Because it's not I don't know if that's like somebody gave that membership. I don't know if she paid for the membership. I have no control over that. I don't know how to figure that out. Sorry. No problem. Milo is gay. Yes, he is. Yes. He's gay, but he claims he prayed the gay away. He's the guy, I don't know if you remember, like he was going on all these shows. I think he was on either Bill Maher or some show, and he talked about how that it was different when, for gay men, it's different with gay boys. And like when you're 15 and a 25-year-old gay man does stuff, it's perfectly fine. And so basically he got canceled for saying that when he was 15, a priest or somebody did something to him. They canceled him. Milo was big years ago. He's a joke now. Says he's no longer gay or having sex with some dumb shit like that. Claims Ben Johnson is gay and that everyone else is secret. Yeah, Milo actually was on Tim Pool. Was actually on Tim Pool the other night. I think it was Friday with George Santos, arguing with George Santos, trying to claim that Charlie Kirk was secretly gay. Is Milo the forefather of Tim Pool? I think Tim Pool's been around for a long time. And Will Call Magic's been a member for 2 months. Says, Mr. Morris, love y'all. Y'all aren't missing anything. Welcome to Perversion. Britain has fallen. Why listen to those people unless it's for a laugh? He was on Tim Pool Friday. He went to Cambridge and won what they call an exhibition there. It means he got the top marks in the entire university in his first year, and then he dropped out. Early days, he was a great right-wing troll who could get leftists prove they were nuts. Jim beat me to that part of the story. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, like I know Milo from back in 2015 when he was going on Compound Media, hanging out with Gavin McInnes and stuff like that. That's where I know Milo from. Asian Pacific market never sells chicken's feet. I'm not sure, not that brave. I think you're supposed to deep fry chicken's feet. I think it's supposed to be like, pig's ears and stuff like that, or pig skins maybe. So the thing is, Milo believes it's okay to groom kids. That's kind of what it sounded like to me, like it was okay to him to be groomed, and that's why he could cancel him. Milo in the tub of blood, maybe. Milo is a Candace gatekeeper. Yeah. I may have caught a few minutes of that. Didn't see it at all. Yeah. Charlie had a beautiful wife, and he's definitely not gay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. George Santos got pissed when he said it and started going, how dare you, all this stuff. And I was like, get him, George. Get him, George. This fear led many in the party colleagues not expressing their criticism of Trump. Green herself is facing increasing threats against herself and her family since publicly dissing herself from Trump. Yeah, Tim Pool became famous through covering Occupy Wall Street protests. Yeah. Tim Pool was a leftist covering that, and he worked for Vice, and he worked for Telemundo or something like that, one of those some kind of Mexican channel, and also and then the other guy too. What's his name? Santos is gay too. Yeah, Santos is gay too. Rhinos. Yeah, Santos is gay too, but he was the one. I basically tell Milo, don't say that. The biggest Candace defender is Officer Tatum. So there's that. Fox News just has Republicans are terrified to step out of line with Trump. Green says in candid interview. Vice News, CIA shit. Yeah. MTG claimed she was getting threats a long time ago. Oh yeah, she's always getting threats. That's the thing. Is like these people that complain about getting threats. If you're getting threats, you don't broadcast them. You don't, because it only just makes the threats get worse. People go, oh, you're getting these threats. I can just pile on. If people want to do stuff too, they can, Yeah. That's where Tim started. Well, Tim started before. I think Tim started before Vice. He was doing it himself, if I'm not mistaken, just doing covering I think him and that guy, what's his name, Luke Rudkowski, were covering hanging out, covering stuff with the Chicago protests, covering the protest, Occupy Wall Street stuff, and different protests around Chicago and everything. And something happened. He was with Telemundo or something after Vice. When he left Vice, maybe not Telemundo, but something, what's it called? The other Mexican channel. Some other channel hired him when he left Vice. I can't remember what it's called. It's some, if someone mentions it in the chat, it'll come up for me. Milo worked for MTG. I think MTG has got tired of other Republicans sitting on their hands and not doing anything. It's possible. Yep, her, Jim. I can't think of the name of the channel, though. It'll come to me. So Univision, maybe. Univision. Yeah, Univision. Yeah, Vice was when he got big. Yeah. Yeah, he was with Vice when they were really blowing up and they were getting a bunch of money and they were going corporate. He was with Vice after Gavin McInnes got pushed out when it turned into left-wing agitprop. We should add an H for hate for hypocrite to rhino, like rhinos. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, MTG has also gone off the deep end. Hey, what's up, Nixie Nix? How you doing tonight? Great to see you. Benny Johnson's just another overrated, apparently Luciferian militant supporter, passive aggressive. Could be. Ruck Hodson broke my heart and he died from AIDS. Nixie Nix, what's up? So let's see. I guess I'll play a little bit of this just to hear her yap.
I'm going to ask you about this almost solid support he has among Republicans in Congress. Is there in that support fear? Does the support come about because they're afraid that they'll get death threats?
I think they're terrified to step out of line and get a nasty Truth Social post on them. Yes.
And they're watching what happened to you.
Is she trying to imply that Trump is responsible for her getting death threats? So Trump has to just take whatever anybody dishes. He can't say anything to anybody because somebody might say they got a death threat. Is that how it works? I mean, they fucking tried to kill Trump like 7 times.
Behind the scenes, do they talk differently?
Yes.
How?
Oh, it would shock people.
Well, let's shock people.
Okay. I watched many of my colleagues go from making fun of him, making fun of how he talks, making fun of me constantly for supporting him, to when he won the primary in 2024, they all started, excuse my language, Leslie, kissing his ass and decided to put on a MAGA hat for the first time.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, so Tara announced in November she was resigning from Congress. Why not? Here's the thing that I got my problem with Marjorie Taylor Greene is why not go today, Marjorie? Just leave right now. If you're going to resign, just quit. Why are you waiting to December or whatever, January 5th or whatever it is, January 7th, whatever it is? Because they're saying that that's exactly when your 5 years is vested, your retirement, so you get a permanent life pension plan with health insurance covered by the government. It's nuts to me, man. It's nuts. It's nuts. They're terrified to step out of line, and I think they're terrified to step out of line and get a nasty truth social. So we saw all this stuff. So we're, Newsweek has this: Republicans made fun of Trump behind his back, according to Marjorie Taylor Greene. And then, according to the Raw story, which is a left-wing rag, says Trump's closest friends secretly hate him, but are terrified to step out of line. I mean, this is what she's doing. Yeah. Hey, Duck and Felonies, what's up? Great to see you. Long time no see. Yeah, she gets a pension. Yeah, as soon as she gets the pension and then the permanent insurance. Is it because she's smart? Well, I guess she's not dumb, so she can get her money. She'll be the host on The View. She'll claim to be a Republican that just can't stand the party. Well, she'll be like every other Republican that goes on The View, right? Because that's what they all do. But yes, ideally, she should resign now. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go now. She's already been hired by The View. Hey, crazy dude, you're leaving? All right, good night, all. Great channel. All right, well, thanks for being here. I hope to see you again soon. I really do. It was great having you. Thanks for all the gifted memberships and all the stuff. And oh wait, what's this? That site can't be reached. Okay, so whatever that is about the bathing in blood Milo, it won't let me. It says it can't be reached. So she's also complained about the fact that she met with Syrian and Saudi leaders, that she praised him when he met with the Taliban and South Korean leaders who changed. Yeah, I don't know. Something changed with her. Yeah, have a good one, dude. Thanks. So let's go. Let's keep moving here. Let's keep moving along. Close some tabs. Here we go. There's a story everyone can get upset about, including me. House releases a $901 billion spending authorization bill. So almost $1 trillion. $9 billion over Trump's request. The House late Sunday released the text of the National Defense Authorization Act, which codifies several of President Trump's executive orders. The 3,086-page bill, like, why in the world would we have a 3,086-page bill? That just seems fucking insane. And it's about $8 billion more than what Trump initially requested in the budget. The National Defense Authorization Act codifies at least 15 of Trump's. Look at Bella. Look at her moving. Everyone see Bella? She's moving around. She's moving around. She's getting her blankie in the right order now. She's got it where she wants it. Yes, there she goes. There she goes. Oh man, look at that. No, she's hidden behind this. She's hidden behind the thing. How are we gonna fix it? Oh, we're gonna fix it just like that. Look at that. She just jumps, jump, kick, flip, Bella goes. Jump, kick, flip, Bella goes. Jump, kick, flip, Bella goes. Gundam Zig, what's up? Yes, thank you, Alex. Thanks, everybody. This page was definitely left blank. What Jody said, definitely. She changed after being in McCarthy's pants. I heard that. 3,086 pages, and still people can find loopholes to steal from taxpayers. Yes. Probably written by AI. Well, T did say he was going to primary her next time. Best to leave on top, I guess. Either benefits. Well, yeah, if she could have just said she wasn't going to run for re-election. Why leave in January? Why'd you say, okay, I'm not going to run for re-election? Someone could, instead of being primaried, I just won't run. And stay in office and do your job instead of waiting until it just, I don't know. It seems dirty to me. Yeah, so Deseret News reported that the NDAA codifies 15 Trump executive orders, including those related to construction of the Golden Dome missile defense system, building physical barriers and deploying more troops to the southern border, modernizing and development of weapons. The bill also includes revitalizing the defense industrial base, undoing the woke policies enacted during the Biden administration. She's taking advice from Massey. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. Take advice from Massey. I vote no to everything except for stuff that the Democrats want. MTG fell for the Dems Trump Epstein hoax, and there was no coming back from that. Yeah, 510 Redneck. I think you're right. I really do. I think that's what it was. She's missed every vote this week. Yeah, she did. I had to do 20 years in the Army to get about 60% pension. Congress is 6 for 100. Fuck. Yeah. 5, actually. 5 years. Not 6. 5 years. The legislation includes important House-passed provisions to ensure our military forces remain the most lethal in the world and can deter any adversary. House Speaker Mike Johnson said in a statement on Sunday that it roots out the Biden-era wokeism in our military and restores merit-based promotions and admissions to the service academies, prohibits contracts with partisan firms, counters anti-Semitism, and halts harmful, unnecessary programs like CRT, DEI, and climate initiatives. I will make an argument that putting counters anti-Semitism in there is a form of kind of woke CRT bullshit. Like, how about just counter all this crime? Why single that out? I don't know why they're kind of throw that in there like, oh, we're not Nazis. This is in here. Stop it. Stop it. You're playing into their game. Levy for Congress. Levy for Congress. Jim tells you the news, and we sing and dance. Yeah, welcome to the Jim Tells You Dancers. Started by Jefferson. We can't even get an intelligent replacement for the M16 M4 after the last 3 attempts. Why? Why need one? What's the purpose? I mean, they need to stop trying to think that everyone needs to have the same rifle. Okay, they need to have different rifles for different jobs. And then basically, they need something better. I mean, because the M14 or whatever, or the M29 that they were using for sniper rifle stuff like that is way old and stuff. And they probably needed to do something different, just slightly. What's it say? And away we go. MTG is staying just long enough to cash in on a lifelong $87 per month government pension. Yeah. Tasmania, correct. Moonlight Rider. Night Rider. I am the Night Rider. That's from Mad Max, the original. Before the Road Warrior. I am the Night Rider. The NDAA would require the FBI to notify Congress if the agency opens up an investigation into federal candidates. Yeah, they wanted to make sure they threw that in there, like, no investigating. Where's the bill for term limits? I don't know. Greedy just like Tyrese. The rest of them, I know what you're saying. Tyrese also. Did anyone see the interview with Piers Morgan and Fuentes? Too funny. 30-06 is still better than 308. Yeah, but, I mean, yeah, if they use 30-06, like the hunting rounds, the modern hunting rounds with modern loads and modern ammo, but most of the 30-06 guns the military has don't really shoot those. They shoot the crappy military standard 30-06, which actually 308 is more. The 30-06 that was loaded in the M1 Garand, all right, or the 30-06 that was in the like Browning 30 cal machine guns, that 30-06, that stuff is not, they had to really tone it down to make it work in the M1 Garand. And so they used the same ammo and everything. So they toned it all down. It's not in the goose. How does one counter anti-Semitism? Better yet, why would they allow that? I mean, you can still criticize other nations, right? Was they make it illegal? Well, that's what I'm saying. 308 is just short 30-06. Yeah, it is. But it's actually the because of modern advancements and powders, the 308 is actually just as powerful as the 30-06 that was in the M1 Garand, in a shorter barrel. You saw it, check them in your feed. You'll have to check it out. What's a Semite? I don't know. In my opinion, the main combat rifle should be based on a 6mm Remington or 243 Winchester to 5.6 blows. Yeah, like the what is it? The 6mm, 6.5mm something that they originally the French had is still one of the best rounds as far as for long distance and accuracy and stuff like that. So they want to make sure they put this in there about them notifying. You're going to your son's for Christmas. You get to sleep in a room with his gun safe. No, I don't have the combination. Oh, okay. Val Hallex, that can be solved with modern powder and bullets. Yeah. 6.5 by 55 Swiss. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Sorry. Is that the one that was in the French? No, that's the LaBelle, right? I don't know. And it repeals the 91 and 2002 authorizations of use of military force that authorized the U.S. to expel Saddam Hussein for Kuwait, and the 2003 invasion of Iraq includes a 4% raise for active duty military. Use ball powder. Well, they need to use stick powder. Or restrict U.S. investments in Chinese business and technologies. Go get this guy. This guy needs to go to jail. Get him. Get him. Arctic Frost. Loudermilk asked for an interview with key pipe bomb witness whose timeline diverges from the FBI. Yeah, that's interesting. Why would the timeline... Oh, look at this. Slavey Crockett. She jumps into the primary for Senate seat in Texas. Slavey Crockett. I actually had a 30-06 at 200 accurate yards on a 308. If loaded correctly. Yeah, but... All I was saying, Wise Elk, is that the ammo, like the military standard for 30-06, that's like Garand ammo, which is the same ammo they used in the 30 cal, like the Browning 30 cal machine gun and stuff like that. It's the same ammo. You could interchange it and fire it in your M1 Garand. At the time, they made all the ammo the same. That way it was all interchangeable. The machine guns used the same ammo as the rifles and everything. That way they only had to have one round of ammo. Not very strong. It's weakened down because of the gas system on the Garand. It had to be, the damn Garand op rod. Yeah, they had to lower the power of it, otherwise it would break the Garand. So that's what they used in everything, because they didn't want somebody grabbing 30-06 from the Browning and putting it in the Garand and blowing up the Garand. So they made everything weaker. It just says Breaking Defense just says the compromise NDAA releases the bigger top line, $8 billion above Pentagon's request, so we're going to spend more money. Ghetto Crockett. I like to call her Jasmine Slavey Crockett. Like Davy Crockett, but Slavey Crockett. I think it's good. And then this story says that the Congress moves to block Pentagon from cutting U.S. troops in Europe and South Korea. So they won't even let your 338 prefers compression loads. Yeah, thus 308. Gotcha, Jim. Yeah. Yeah, that's why when they went to the M14, the 308 was actually the 308 rounds that they used were more powerful than, really when they compared them, feet per second, foot pounds, all that stuff was actually very comparable. It was lighter and had a slightly shorter action. And it was really easy for them to make the change because they were able to basically convert the, all they had to do was put like a slight plug into the barrels and they could convert over Garands to 308 from 30-6. In the Navy, we had a whole bunch of Garans that were 308, not 30-6. Congress moves to block the Pentagon from cutting troops. So they don't want them to cut troops. They don't want any troops. They want to keep all the troops. They want no troops. Let's say Morgan did absolutely look like a fool, and I don't mind Nick. His obsession with us white people is odd, considering his last name is Fuentes. Yes. Was I a lubber? I mean, a landlubber? I know we've had this conversation before, Snarf. A base guy. Congress is moving to limit Pentagon's ability to pull forces out of Europe and South Korea, easing concerns among allied governments. Been on a ship? I've been on a ship. I never went to sea on a ship. Does that answer your question? In 2026, National Defense Authorization Act, finalized by House and Senate negotiators and released Sunday evening, keeps forces presence at roughly in current levels in both regions. It states that the U.S. cannot reduce its forces in Europe below 76,000. You could have been a base guy. Yeah. The 706 NATO was ballistically similar to the old 30-6, 30 cal. One reason we tricked our allies into using it. Yeah. We tricked them, all right. It states the U.S. cannot reduce its forces in Europe below 76,000 without submitting an assessment and certifying to Congress that such a move would not harm U.S. or NATO security interests. Yes. Groton, Connecticut. No, that's the sub base. Jim wasn't a seaman. I never was a seaman. I went from seaman apprentice to petty officer 3rd class. The bill places restraints on reductions below 28,500 in South Korea. Any drawdown would require the Pentagon to assure Congress that deterrence against North Korea would not be weakened, confirm that the allies were consulted, and provide both a national security justification and an assessment of regional impact. Hey, Spuds is here. What's up, Spuds? Great to see ya. Gundam says in heavy barrel sniper rifles, the old round is still better. Your kid was in Groton? Hey, look at that. That's looks like a Korean flag. The legislation also requires the U.S. to retain the position of Supreme Allied Commander Europe, NATO's top military post, codifying into statute a role traditionally held by an American general. Marines gave me a sea service ribbon for Iraq. We flew on World Airlines. But why use the 30 cal when you have the 60 cal? Yeah. Why use the 30 cal when you have the? I know you're talking to 50. I understand, but yeah, 3rd class at E4. Yeah. I came out as an E5 though. So these limits will follow reports that the Pentagon had considered reducing forces in Europe and South Korea and even relinquished the saucer position, those ideas reflect a genuine planning or intended as pressure on allies or invest more in their own defenses. U.S. leaders have recently signaled that they're stepping back from such moves, even without congressional restrictions. During a meeting last week with the U.S. national security officials and European leaders, American officials told their counterparts that Europe must be prepared to bear the brunt of NATO's defense responsibilities by 2027. Yeah, E4 upon graduation. Yeah, that's correct. Your hands are crapping out. Okay. Just tweaking. We got our crows. Yep. U.S. plans to hold on to saucer position, but will offer some other senior NATO military posts to European nations. They also want Washington has no-tier plans for major troop reductions in Europe. We're committed to working through NATO coordination mechanisms to strengthen the alliance and ensure its long-term viability as European nations increasingly take on responsibility for conventional deterrence and defense in Europe. Yeah, the crow fly straight. Sam Crow. Earlier this year, the Army pulled a rotating brigade stationed largely in Romania back to the United States, prompting European allies to question whether that move might signal the beginning of a broader U.S. force drawdown on NATO's eastern flank. You lost your crow at Captain's Mast, dude? Oh, man. You're going to join out of high school, but you're not the ideal specimen. The NDAA, the yearly must-pass package outlining the Pentagon spending and policy priorities, is expected to move swiftly in the House. Congress aims to have the legislation on the president's desk before Christmas. You bounced a few shipmates. The bill also introduces $400 million for the Ukraine. $400 million for the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative over 2 years. An amendment specifying when the Pentagon will reclaim equipment purchased for Ukraine but not yet delivered, only when the equipment is urgently needed for an ongoing or imminent U.S. contingency operation, and failing to use it would risk loss of life or critical mission failure. Yes, we should leave NATO and the UN. Yes. Yes. The provision follows the Pentagon's decision earlier this year to pause delivery of certain U.S.-funded military equipment to Ukraine. They still just want to give everything to Ukraine. You were an EM? Yeah. I was an ET. Funny at 59, I can whip an 18-year-old self badly. Why do we have 76,000 troops in Europe? Sounds unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. You're going for a 50 again. I got you at 50 the first time. I heard what you said. Now you're made at 59 and now 50. I see it right now. Shouldn't all these decisions be made by the commander-in-chief? You would think. Geez, but best not make myself old before my time. EW? All right. Electronic warfare, huh? Model allies that step up, like Israel, South Korea, Poland, increasingly Germany, the Baltics, and others, will receive our special favor, he said at the Reagan National Defense Forum. Allies that still fail to do their part for the collective defense will face consequences. What are we, fucking communists? Collective defense? What is this, the collective? One of us. One of us. Anyway. Oh, and then we got this story, which I don't know if I believe this story. It says, Trump cabinet member to be booted really soon, according to report. You graduated with me? Okay. Bella was twerking. Was she? Oh. I'm no EM. You know that. Okay. Come on, Jim. Okay, I don't know, man. I don't remember, man. New report Saturday shows one Donald Trump cabinet official will soon be fired. They're saying Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem won't be around for long. According to the Bulwark's reporting this weekend, for weeks, a rumor has been circulating in political circles that Noem may be out soon. I briefly surfaced in a CNN report a few weeks back that listed her first among the cabinet officials who could be caught in a year-end turnover, noting that while Trump himself has been happy with Noem, top White House officials have grown frustrated with her tenure. So if Trump's happy with her, were you a vamp? I was a vamp too. You were a vamp? I called it a vamp, vampire, vamp. I saw Bella twerking. Lol. 2 uncles and your dad served. You wanted to also. Jim came out. I heard it straight from the horse's mouth. Bulwark is complete garbage reporting. Midnight to 8. This is bull about Trump's cabinet. It's just that bull. I didn't think it was breakfast with supper. We don't need the NATO and the UN anyway. That just means she's a new smear target. Yeah, they moved on from, Pete Hegseth. They know he's not going anywhere, so now they're targeting her. They're saying her employment is divisive and combustible with a chief advisor, Corey Lewandowski. But in conversation with 3 former DHS officials who served in both the Biden and Trump administrations and are still in tough with search. So these are people who served with the Biden administration and got fired under Trump and no longer there, are saying, oh, they're going to get rid of Noam. She's not going to make it. She's not going to make it. With the caps. What? What are you doing? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're doing. It was made clear that Trump is indeed considering moving on Noam. 2 of those officials said they believe such a move could happen really soon. But they and a 3rd official also cautioned that the situation is fluid. Trump could decide to let Noam oversee the launch of a new enforcement operation planned for January and February. And as always, the president's views are fickle and often heavily influenced by the latest person to grab his ear. Yeah, you give Democrats credit, they stay united no matter what, and their attacks are relentless. Yeah, that's what they do. That's how 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 they do. I'm fixing the goal on YouTube right now. Give me 1 second. Wow. This is like deja vu. It was exactly right. Is that right? Hold on. Look. Goal for $100. All right, so that's good. That's right. That's right. That is correct. That is correct. All right. So we got 1 hour to go. If we get $65, we'll add another hour. That's how that works. 4 years to Social Security. Yeah. It's getting harder to paint smellies as the victim, even for the Dems. Yeah, it is. VA says that disability is not service-related. Oh, that's terrible. According to journalist Adrian Carrasquillo, still there are a few factors that make possibility of a Noam exit likely. Every time you hear someone say that Hegseth is unqualified, ask them for the list of qualifications needed to become the DOW Secretary of War. Yeah. Only one qualification needed. The president appointed them, period. Yeah. Yeah, they say that Hegseth's not qualified. If you remember, Obama appointed a guy, I can't remember his name, Chuck Hagel, I think his name was Hagel. He was his criteria was he was a sergeant in the Army, and he was fine. Smear campaign, they don't like her because she's doing a great job. Found all those fraudulent, smelly green cards. Yeah. Snarf, are you referring to sophistry? Didn't they wear a weird cap hat? The first is that Trump may want to begin the new year with a clean slate, hoping that fresh blood could improve either the execution of his signature mass deportation policy, or more importantly, the public's perception of it. The second is that a prominent, if slightly faded Republican governor may be soon on the job market, ready to burnish his MAGA cred with a Trump appointment. Who they talking about? Huh? So that's the story. Well, here we go. And then the White House responds to the report saying that Trump is considering replacing Kristi Noem. The White House has rejected a report that said President Trump is considering replacing Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, who's overseeing the major immigration crackdown central to the administration's immigration agenda. Would you favor if U.S. pay Somalis to go home? I mean, how much? Like, not that much, like $1,000 each to get out, sure. Nothing more than that. They've already stolen all the money. Oh, you're going to be right back? All right, cool. I'll be waiting. This is what we voted for. The left keeps trying to say it isn't. I know. We already do pay them. Yes, we do. The Uniparty, yeah, the bipartisan always means remain coming for us. ICE, DHS, FEMA, Coast Guard, TSA, Border Patrol, all doing great under her. That's what I think. I think she's doing a great job. I don't understand it. She's overseen a major immigration crackdown central to the agenda. The Bulwark reported on Saturday, citing 3 unnamed former DHS officials who are in touch with current staff. How would these current staff know what Trump's going to do? White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson wrote on X that anonymous former staffers pretend to know what POTUS is thinking, and the Bulwark treats them as credible? What a joke. This is pathetic. This is total fake news. Secretary Noem is doing a great job. She's implementing President Trump's agenda and making America safe again. Why it matters. The White House has sought to quell rumors that Trump is considering replacing Noem. Yeah, they also just remember they just like it's over the past 2 weeks. Trump's going to get rid of Kash Patel. Trump's going to get rid of Bondi. Trump's going to get rid of fucking Hegseth. Now Trump's going to get rid of Noem. What's next? Trump's going to get rid of Rubio. Reports that Noem may be replaced come amid wider speculation about a possible year-end cabinet shakeup. Any changes at DHS or other key posts could signal shifts in the administration's priorities and strategy heading into the new year. So they want them to get rid of Noem because they want to get somebody in there that won't do the deportations. They want, a phony. They want, probably they want them to bring Mayorkas in. Mayorkas in. 404, not found. What? Why is it telling me my Rumble channel can't be found? That is weird. They started 3 who had served under both Biden and Trump, so that means that they served under Biden. Yeah. Yes, Rubio is next, and then Tulsi. Yeah, that's what they'll do. That's what they'll do. So I think Rumble is getting attacked or something. Something weird going on at Rumble. Something very weird is going on with Rumble. All right, there we go. That's better. What the hell happened there? I don't know. So they cited these sources, and that Trump is considering moving on. The career bureaucrats are upset that they have to work now. Rumble's working. Something weird going on though. I was trying to look and see because I kept getting notifications that people were signing up to Rumble. So I wanted to see how many subs or whatever it's called on Rumble, and it said channel not a 404 error, which usually means they're getting DDoSed or something, or somebody is, maybe me. Thank you. How QATCCOB QUSS. Thank you for being here. Bondi would be replaced by Helena Haba. Maybe. I know Helena Haba is working as a special assistant. Now she resigned from her position, but I don't think she should have. I think they should have fought it out. I really do. That's you, SB Farmer? Oh, cool. All right. Didn't know. 2 of the officials suggest that such a move could happen really, really soon. It's going to be a really big show. Noting that Noem has reportedly taken on a smaller role in directing department memos. The outlet reported that while Trump himself has expressed support for Noem, other top White House officials have grown frustrated with her leadership, particularly her employment of the controversial chief advisor, Corey Lewandowski. Well, I thought Corey Lewandowski was a favorite of Trump's. They reported in November that DHS could be one of the departments that sees a shakeup before the end of the year. noting that White House officials had grown frustrated with Lewandowski. That's one of Trump's favorite dudes. What are they talking about? Person close to the White House told CNN at the time about Trump's thinking. How the fuck would they know what Trump's thinking? Yeah, he likes Noam, but it's been brought to his attention that Lewandowski's a problem and the agency's being mismanaged because of it. So they don't like Lewandowski because he's doing stuff they don't like, is what it is. I was making a joke about Jim disabling the goal. I'm 40% and still fighting. What? I didn't disable the goal. I reset the goal with the correct time and everything. I don't know what you mean. I didn't disable the goal. I reset the goal. I had to restart it for another hour. I was referring to the Fitsarian cap associated with the French sophistry. Okay. Another Dem hoax with a bunch of leftists pretending to be on the right bot farms, pushing it in the chats. Yeah, that's what it is. Lewandowski, however, denied the reports telling the Bulwark none of that is true. The Bulwark noted that Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin will be finishing his term in January, leaving him open for a potential cabinet position. The three former DHS officials said his name had been floated as a potential successor for Noam. Why would you want to bring him in? It sounded like Biden describing America in one word. Yaga baba gobbledygook and foot in the hell names. Yes. You know, dog face pony, lion dog face pony soldier. Look at secondary of your primary claims. In the chat, it says you disabled the goal. No worries. No, I had it. It said it was 30 seconds left, so I disabled it and restarted it for another hour. There's a new goal. If you look at the goal, I clicked over and it said 30 seconds left, so I just restarted a new goal. I mean, it's been, let's see, how long has the show been going? The show's been going 2 hours and 46 minutes, and the new goal has 50 minutes, so that's 3.5 hours. That's what you call a 2.5 hour show and then an extra hour. So Corey is Noam's boyfriend. Oh, okay. Huh. CNN previously reported Youngkin has expressed an interest in serving an administration in some capacity, but would favor a position focused on economic or business affairs rather than DHS. Noam's continuing to publicly support the administration's agenda, praising Trump while maintaining a prominent role in promoting the department's immigration and enforcement initiatives. What people are saying, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem told the president at a cabinet meeting last week, "Thank you for giving me a very interesting job. Some days it's a little controversial too, but it's been an honor to work for you. You're a great American. The fight that you pick are the right fights, and they're on behalf of this great country. So I appreciate the chance to do this job heading up this department." What's next? The White House has expressed continued support for Noam, suggesting her position is secure for now. Any broader cabinet shakeup could occur in the coming weeks as Trump weighs his options for the new year. So now it's, now they're not getting rid of anybody. Huh, who's that? What's with those gay, nasty tattoos? Is that Miley Cyrus? Is that Miley Cyrus for real? What the hell happened to her? Miley Cyrus adoption claims expand his lawsuits. Does she claim she was adopted or something? Is that what's going on? That's some crazy shit. Oh, look at this. Got this. New York City's radical socialist mayor-elect Zoran the Kami Mandami posts a video coaching illegals on how to evade ICE, urges people to stand up to the feds. Sounds like a crime to me. What happened to Mayorkas? I say something about Mayorkas? I don't know. Well-known boyfriend for years, even though she and her husband mutually decided to not divorce their business, no one else's. Oh, I didn't know that. Adrenochrome withdrawal? Maybe. So here he is, the Kami Mandami. His incoming mayor, Democrat socialist Kami Mandami, released a video on X Sunday morning offering step-by-step advice to illegal aliens how to thwart immigration and custom agents. Standing up in front of a flip chart labeled "Know Your Rights." You have no right to be in the country. We have a Vietnam Navy vet who fought the VA for 30 years helping me now. Cheers. Good for you. I hope it all works out. He positioned himself as the defender of New York City's 3 million illegal aliens, vowing to protect them from federal raids amid President Trump's lawful deportation agenda. The video comes on the heels of a disrupted ICE raid in Chinatown last week, where nearly 200 rioters blocked agents from leaving a parking garage. Yes, they should all be charged with unlawful imprisonment and attempted kidnapping. That's what I would do. That's what I'd charge them with. Last week, ICE attempted to raid Canal Street and detain our illegal alien neighbors, Mandami said in a video posted on X. As mayor, I'll protect the rights of every single illegal alien. And that includes the more than 3 million illegal aliens who call this city their home. He continued, but we can all stand up to ICE if you know your rights. ICE cannot enter into private spaces like your home, school, or private areas of your workplace without a judicial warrant signed by a judge. You have the right to say, I do not consent to entry, and the right to keep your door closed. He showed an example of ICE paperwork that may be mistaken for a warrant. ICE is legally allowed to lie to you, but you have the right to remain silent. If you're being detained, you may always ask, am I free to go? Repeatedly until they answer you. Oh yeah, it's going to work right. Am I free to go? 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 Am I being detained? Am I being detained? Am I being detained? Am I being detained? Yeah, that gets fucking aggravating real fast. Doesn't Dummy start January 1st? Yeah. So right now he's not in office, so all the stuff he's doing could be, I fought them for over 3 years. Apparently the X-rays and MRIs done while I was active duty. My back and knee were not, wait for it, service connected. You're legally allowed to film ICE as long as you do not interfere with an arrest. Mayorkas is in hiding. AutoPen is not his friend. Is he really? Mayorkas is in hiding? Not judicial? Mandami is also not so subtly urging people to protest. New Yorkers have a constitutional right to protest, and when I'm mayor, we will protect that right. Know your rights. So let's see what he said.
Last weekend, ICE attempted to raid Canal Street and detain our immigrant neighbors. As mayor, I'll protect the rights of every single New Yorker, and that includes the more than 3 million immigrants who call this city their home. But we can all stand up to ICE if you know your rights. If you encounter ICE, these are the things that every New Yorker should know. First, ICE cannot enter into...
Standing up to ICE. Does that sound like impeding or interfering with the federal enforcement of federal law? Standing up to them. That sounds like interfering, right? Impeding. Sounds like breaking the law. It's just an idea. Has been protesting here in the ICE facility for nearly a decade. Havana on the Willamette, Portland is a cesspool. Yes. And Mandami has said that he will not swear an oath to the U.S. on the New York Constitution because he believes that they are flawed. If there is no oath on file, he should be considered impersonating a public servant. His citizenship should be revoked. He should be deported. He lied. He committed fraud to get into the country. That's the bottom line. New York will not do well if this dude is not taken office yet, and he's already creating conditions for confrontation with the feds. Yeah. How are these politicians not being arrested under the harboring alien statute, 18 U.S.C. 1324, especially the inducement statute? They should be. If you ask these questions repeatedly in English, you're an American enough. Lol. Yeah. If you just keep asking over and over again, just until someone goes, shut the fuck up. Yeah. Didn't AOC get in trouble for doing similar? Isn't a judge going to trial for the same thing? Pretty much. Sounds like sedition. Yeah. Seditious conspiracy. That's what I say.
Private spaces like your home, school, or a private area of your workplace without a judicial warrant signed by a judge. That looks like this. If ICE does not have a judicial warrant signed by a judge, you have the right to say, I do not consent to entry, and the right to keep your door closed. Sometimes ICE will show you paperwork that looks like this and tell you that they have the right to arrest you. That is false. ICE is legally allowed to lie to you, but you have the right to remain silent. If you're being detained, you may always ask, am I free to go? Repeatedly until they answer you.
Repeatedly.
Legally
just
allowed.
Repeatedly. Just keep asking repeatedly over and over again. Yeah.
film ICE, as long as you do not interfere with an arrest. It is important to remain calm during any interaction with ICE or law enforcement. Do not impede their investigation, resist arrest, or run. One last thing. New Yorkers have a constitutional right to protest, and when I'm mayor, we will protect that right. New York will always welcome immigrants, and I will fight each and every day to protect, support, and celebrate our immigrant brothers and sisters.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. The Trump administration has not issued an official response yet, which is going to be go fuck yourself, I imagine. What do you mean, Wilmette? It's Wilmette, right? Not Willamette, it's Wilmette. Sounds like sedition. That's what they said about my husband and his knees were service connected, but because he crashed his Harley years later and re-injured his back, it was a new injury. Feds don't need that when arresting someone on a deportation order. Yeah, the feds don't need anything if you're an illegal alien and they have probable, reasonable articulable suspicion that you are the illegal alien. They can detain you and find out if you are. And if you are, you're subject to deportation. Yeah. Oh, what's this? We got something happening. It says, Fran VT was gifted a membership by Just Gina. So this must be Shorty 781, must be Just Gina. Let me see. What is happening? Why is my Rumble not updating? Huh. My Rumble chat is frozen. There we go. Oh, Just Gina gifted a membership to Fran VT. Okay. Thank you, Just Gina. Loves. So with that, that's another $5 off of the goal. So we are now $60 away, folks. $60 away from a second additional hour. That's right. We have roughly 40 minutes left. If we get $60 in the next 40 minutes, it could be gifted memberships. It could be Cash App. It could be PayPal. It could be Coffee, Ko-Fi, whatever you want to call it. It could be Rumble Rants. It could be YouTube Super Chats. It could be all these things. It could be Locals Coins. It could be Twitch memberships. Whatever. Any of those things. And we will extend the show by another additional hour. That's how that works. Am I free to boot? What does that mean? Boot what? What are you talking about? Another case of Rumble Clap. Yep, got it. I see the Black Mirror version of him ordering police to mow down protesters in New York City. Yeah. I don't know what you mean by free to boot. This Minnesota fraud is going to be massive. Just watch an ex-TSA agent to say that he saw billions of cash and fake passports go through security at airports. It bothered her then, and now she knows the reason. Wow. Rumble Heart, thank you so much. I don't know what this dot means. Radical Islamists are a snake in the grass, and moderates are grass hiding the snakes. Yes. ICE comes under Article 2, civil. Judicial warrants are Article 3. Mondavi is wrong. Yeah, I'd say so. He is. If you're a legal U.S. citizen, you have nothing to worry about. Illegal aliens do not have the same rights as citizens yet. You're late. Hey, what's up, KJ? Great to see you. Late catch up, Susie Wellsby, the end of the U.S. I hope not. Good here. Thank you. Lisa, I saw that Liz Collins interview. Greg, did Jim pronounce it? I thought I did. I don't know. I thought I pronounced it correctly. I don't know. It's either Wilmette or Willamette. I don't know. That woman was pathetic. Yes. So let's see here. Okay. So same thing. Breitbart has Zora Madami tells illegal aliens how to stand up to ICE agents, which not a good idea. And then the Hill just says Madami gives tips to migrants in New York City. And here's a good story. Greenland hosts annual talks with the U.S. at the end of the year when Trump revived talks of a takeover. Willamette. Native American, nice try. Free to go equals free to boot. I don't know what that means. You mean you're going to leave? I want to see Netanyahu go to New York monthly to see if Saddam will order his arrest and NYPD will do it. That would cause a major issue. That would be a major problem. Major time problem. Ground control to Major Tom. We are sitting here. Engine zone. And nobody going. Boot the illegals out. Yeah, get the illegals out. There you go. Justina, thanks, Gina. Trump plane. So Greenland is hosting meetings with American officials at the end of the year in which U.S. President Donald J. Trump ramped up talks of a U.S. takeover of the mineral-rich island, which is a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark. Zamboni is under the impression that international law means dick in America. Say it slowly. Willamette. Willamette. That's what I said. I said Willamette. I noticed that your channel could benefit from a larger audience to help boost your streams. Wow, isn't that special? With the right support, you could earn $50 per hour on Kick. Wow, $50 per hour on Kick. Oh my God. Wow, if I streamed for 80 hours a day, that would mean I would make, wow, awesome. You can help grow my channel and getting me 3,000 real followers as opposed to the fake bot followers. Wow. Scored Christopher Anthony 06 for more details. There you go. There's his WhatsApp number if anyone wants to call him. I'm not saying you should call him, but there's his WhatsApp number. I'm from California, so I pronounce Lancaster the California way, unless I happen to be in Pennsylvania. What is it? Is it Lancaster? Or Lancaster or Lancaster? You to go. Told you, control the Northwest Passage. No need for NATO membership or the Panama Canal. You to goat. Goated. Yep. Lancaster. The meetings Monday and Tuesday include a joint committee between Greenland and American officials and permanent committee that involves the Danish government, the Greenland's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Science. Similar meetings were held last year in the United States. Vivian Motzfeldt, who heads the ministry, said in a statement before the meeting that Greenland was pleased to host the talks as a way to ensure that the interests of Greenlanders and Americans were respected. Spud says it's best to be hashtag Gina Goated. Blah, blah, blah. Will M.Et. Is it Will A.M.Et? Done. Only Oregonians know how to pronounce it. In a brief statement to reporters before the meeting, according to a translation of a report by Greenlandic publication, Shermenstekwak said that she wanted to emphasize that it was up to Greenlanders to choose their own future. That's right. It's like a book called a Choose Your Own Adventure book, and Greenland gets to choose that they want to go on the adventure of being part of the greatest country in the history of the world, or do they want to be part of the little shithole place where they were sticking their fingers in the dikes. But friendship is far older. The ambassador in Copenhagen, whatever it is, says that the Joint Committee relationship dates back more than a generation. The United States values our friendships with Greenland, which goes back more than 80 years. And he was joined by Brendan Hanrahan, a senior U.S. State Department official with respect. We respect the people of Greenland's right to determine their own future. The Danish Foreign Ministry and the Greenland Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that science doesn't immediately respond to emails, and the Associated Press is seeking comment. Trump stirred concerns earlier this year in Greenland and Denmark and the European Union, which counts Denmark among its 27 member countries, by reviving talks of a U.S. takeover of Greenland after returning to office for his second term. The issue had drifted off the headlines in recent months, but in August, Danish officials summoned the U.S. ambassador following a report that at least 3 people with connections to Trump had carried out covert influence operations in Greenland. Earlier this year, Vice President J.D. Vance visited a remote U.S. base on the island and accused Denmark of underinvesting there. So the Vice President, it says Willamette, go heavy on the second, Willamette, kind of like a goat, Willamette. Trump has said that the Greenland is crucial for U.S. security and hasn't ruled out taking the island by military force. Holland has dikes, Jim, not Denmark. I don't know. I seen a bunch of lesbians when I was in Denmark. Denmark has fouting coals. My older brother were born in Puyallup. Jim, you like Miss Judy? I think she's funny. Talking about Miss Judy, the lady on that was on Who Are These Podcasts tonight? The lawyer, Miss Judy. Quancotongo. Try this one. Quantong. Yes. I don't know. I think something's up with her, Goody Two Shoes. I think she's on some kind of, there's something else going on, and I don't trust Vince the lawyer at all. Sunshine thinks it's funny. So that's the story out of there. And then Trump says that we'll see when he was asked about resuming trade negotiations with Canadistan. Okay, I'll try it once again. Will admit. Kwa Akwan Katang. Anthony says Kwan A Kantog. Kwan A Kantog. Kwan A Kantog. Fuck that. We want to live there. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. Leviosa, not Leviosa. Leviosa. Double M. Okay. Any French word, if you don't know how to pronounce it, just emphasize the second syllable and you're halfway there. UK English word, emphasize the first syllable and you're halfway there. Oh, okay. Thank you. Double M&Ms. It's like a double dip M&M. Willamette. 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 What is this? Fucking diction class with Jim? U.S. President Trump is taking a wait-and-see approach on resuming talks with Canada. Trump said, we'll see, when he was questioned by reporters over the weekend about whether he planned to restart the trade talks halted with Ottawa this fall. By Jove, I think he's got it. Canuckistan, perfect. Greg, maybe only people who live there know or care, but I live in Texas. And everything's bigger in Texas, including our spelling bees. Or Chinada. The problem is Canadistan makes a lot of things that we don't need because we make them also. That's right. We don't need this Canadistan maple syrup. We've got our own Vermont maple syrup. We'll work it out, but noting that he has a positive relationship with Mark Carney, despite Canadistan being very tough traders. Traitors. Not traders, traitors. He and Carney appeared cordial while sitting with the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum, during the FIFA World Cup draw on December 5th, prior to the 3 leaders entering a private meeting. Le nom est François Post-Natev Américain. Trump didn't offer specifics when asked about the meeting. We built this shitty on rock and roll. We spoke for half an hour. Very good, very productive. We talked mostly trade. I have a very good relationship. It's very great. Someone might say it's the best relationship with Canadistan anyone's ever had. And he described Canada as a special place, adding that they are really good at ice hockey, aren't they? Yeah. What's that all about? They're good at ice hockey, eh? and they're really good at their hockey stars dying in a cocaine-induced police chase on the Queens Expressway. And then having a place called, donut place. Texas doesn't have any confusing names. Amarillo, New Braunfels, Chittiwok. I read an article a while back claiming spelling bees are rigged. Yes, they're definitely rigged. They give you all the answers. And so he's working on the United States, Mexico, Canada trade agreement, the USMCA, a free trade. It was the first private meeting between the Carney and Trump. I never liked carnies. They always were like creepy to me. The people working at the carnivals, running around doing this stuff. I always like carnies. Ugh. The president suspended trade negotiations after an Ontario sponsored an anti-tariff ad on U.S. networks featuring excerpts from an 1987 radio address led by U.S. President Ronald Reagan, where they completely twisted the words and took Reagan out of context. Trump has said the advertising campaign distorted Reagan's position on tariffs and aimed to influence a U.S. Supreme Court decision regarding his administration's application of tariffs, while Ontario Premier Doug Ford, the crackhead, maintained that the ads were both accurate and impactful. There appeared to be an increase of momentum regarding trade discussions between Ottawa and the White House prior to Ontario's ad. Trump and Carney had met in Washington for a second time, and the Prime Minister hinted after the October 7th massacre, meeting, that there was good possibility. Why are they meeting on October 7th? What is Carney trying to say? Is he in the pocket of Hamas? Why is he celebrating on October 7th? What is happening? Canada's economy has been hard hit in recent months. You were going to ask if Mama Pill's having a good night? You were going to write something and your phone got knocked out of your hands. Are you okay? Who's knocking phones out of your hands? Do you need me to come there and take care of it? Who's knocking your phone out of your hands? What's going on? You're too hard-headed? Go Winter Hawks from Portland to Havana on the Willamette. Thanks for asking, Audra. Really appreciate the chat. Some of this news makes me frustrated and angry. Chat helps, knowing we all think the MSM is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and I'm not in the business of being made to look ridiculous. Got busy making redneck ballastol. I ran out of the real stuff. I love ballastol, man. I think it's great. Eagles are terrible. They will be the champion this year, but it won't be them. There have been hardest hit by several tariffs leveraged on industry by Trump, as well as a blanket tariff on all Canadistan goods that are not covered by the existing trade agreement. The cat and the dog are playing. Oh, they're playing keep away with your phone, huh? The president raised tariffs on Canadistan products, not including the USMCA, to 35% in August, while still granting extensions to Mexico, which is facing 25% tariffs. Both countries have been hit by Trump's sectoral tariffs on steel, aluminum, automobiles, lumber, and copper. They were playing. The cat and dogs were playing. Okay, playing. It enters a mandatory review period next year, the USMCA. Trump mused last week that he may allow the deal to die, saying Canadistan and Mexico have taken advantage of the United States. I never did find my value the car stole last week. I don't know what that means. Oh, your vape that the car stole. Okay, yeah. Cars do that. They love to steal vapes. Tasmanian Rebel says, my favorite thing is the pronunciation of Nevada. It was never a thing until 30 years ago when they were in the national news for politics. Yeah, Nevada. It's not Nevada. It's Nevada. Nevada. We will either let her expire or we'll work out another deal with Mexico and Canada, Trump told reporters in the White House. Best chat on the interwebs. News can be depressing. Film at 11. The trade agreement was established during the Trump administration's first term to replace the North American Free Trade Agreement, the NAFTA agreement that sucked. That you heard this large sucking sound of all the manufacturing out of the U.S. pouring south into Mexico. That was old Ross Perot said that. The cat stole your vape. The cat stole your vape, not the car. They'll do that too. Cats like to take things and hide them. They put them places that you can't find them. That's why they looked uncomfortable at the FIFA drawing ceremony, Mexico and Canada. Yeah, they were probably uncomfortable also because FIFA named Trump the first inaugural winner of the FIFA Peace Prize. Yeah, Nevada. It's been corrected by the natives more than once. Aluminium? Aluminium? Aluminium. I know it's aluminum. I like to say aluminium because that's how the British say it. They're very smart, the British say it. Sounds right. Do you have any more aluminium for me? You've got the aluminium. That was some ugly football. Okay, I'll be at 90% attention now. Ma Pill says, I've got a British aunt. It's funny when she says it. Yes. You have the aluminium. You have an aluminium cam? Trump referring to the USMCA as the best and most important trade deal ever made when it was ratified, but has appeared to change its stance during the second term. She used to work for Alcoa as an aluminium company. Aluminium. Oh, Joe says, thank you for being my friend, putting up my shit every night again. That is true, and a friend and a confidant. Let's see, now we're $58 away. $58 away from an extra second hour of the show. It's a really good show. It's a good show. Jim, aluminium in the U.S., Jim. Brits have all sorts of fake words. Thank you very much, Joe. How do you say potatoes? It's like potatoes, tomatoes. How do they say linoleum? It says linoleum. It's not linoleum. It's linoleum. It's the hexadecimal system. It's potatoes. You cook them, put them in the pan. Thanks, Joe. Linoleum. King's English. I thought we didn't have a king. U.S. Steel Nippon is restarting production at a plant in Granite City, Illinois. Linoleum. Yes, linoleum. Linoleo, ole, ocean free, ali, oxen free. And this CBC, so this is Canadistan's fried taters with some mustard sauce. Yep. King Trump. So this is Trump lauds a good relationship with the Carney and says he won't restart, but won't say if they'll restart trade talks. So we just heard that. So that's it. And this is crazy. Trump's expected to roll out $12 billion farm aid program today. Now, I remember farm aid. Wasn't that like a thing that they did and when they gave away a bunch of money to people? It was called farm aid. And Trump administration on Monday is planning to roll out $12 billion farm aid. Is that like Live Aid, farm aid? You know, the shiny stuff on the kitchen floor. Hey, what's up? It's all vinyl now. Oh, I open factories in blue states. They'll never change, and we keep them employed and give them all breaks. Yes. Carney is a WEF stooge. That's right. He wasn't even in Canada. He was living in England and had been there for 20 years, and they brought him back in because the globalists, i.e. George Soros, can control him. Old-timey people call linoleum a vinyl rug. Willie Nelson did Farm Aid. That's what I thought. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We got 17 minutes left, folks. 17 minutes left to hit the goal. The administration is planning on rolling out a $12 billion farm aid package to help producers hurt by the trade war, which will include up to $11 billion in one-time payments to crop farmers, crop farmers under the Department of Agriculture's newly designed Farmers Bridge Assistance Program. The rest will go to crops not covered by the FBA. Reports citing an anonymous White House official This aid comes as farmers express rising frustration over the slow pace of Chinese purchases, which Beijing instituted earlier this year in retaliation for Trump's tariffs. Farm aid was the way for Billy Nelson to get together with his buddies and smoke the devil's lettuce. The devil's lettuce. There's a restaurant not too far away that serves local beef and local taters. Fry them in tallow and make them all their own sauces. Everything but real food. Less than fast food, too. Well, that's awesome. That sounds really good. My Czech grandpa was so racist, he refused to go red potatoes because he associated them with the Swedes. Swede, Swede, Swede. Bring on the Swede. Canada actually means a settlement. So by definition, he can't be a nation. If they're a settlement, then we can capture them. That's funny, yes. A vinyl rug. You got it. That's funny. Aluminium plant near Columbia Falls closed its doors and sold the cheap electricity to Kalispell Flathead Lake area for a profit. The package is expected to announce around 2 p.m. in Washington during an event featuring farmers who produce cotton, sorghum, soybean, rice, cattle, wheat, and potato. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins will also be in attendance. 17 slash, what does that mean? Red potatoes are communists. Yes, they are. Joe, the idea is to stop importing steel. Yes, that would be a great idea. I know, just saying. Funds for the new program have been authorized under the Commodity Credit Corporation Charter Act, the CCCCA, the CCCCA, the CCR, Credence Clearwater Revival, and will be distributed to the Farm Service Agency. So just these layers of bureaucracy to steal more money. The Farm Aid is similar to what Trump offered in his first term when the U.S. and China were in similar trade wars and answers concerns voiced by Republicans ahead of next year's midterm elections. The U.S. is opening steel plants again. The only way to build ships is to open steel plants. That's the bottom line. We can't build ships without steel. Farmers have been dying on the vine as export markets for several crops have dried up, particularly soybeans, which saw purchases from China evaporate until late October. Agreements between Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. Soybean producers have been producing gradually ramp up. Last month, China made its biggest daily purchase of American soybeans in 2 years, with the total volume sold to the Asian nation amounting 2.5 million tonnes, far less than what American farmers need to sell about 12 million tonnes of U.S. soybeans. And that the Trump administration said China would purchase by the end of February, with Bessent said last week that China is still on track to meet. It says, do what David D does. It says, the moon is hollow and it's filled with lizard people. Fear the Anunnaki. Hail Jimsomniacs. Hail Jimsomniacs. He was an American but raised in the Czech logging camp in Washington. The Swedes were their biggest competition. Soybeans suck. Yeah. They're making a soy sauce with that soybeans, a soy sauce. Give me soy sauce with the soy sauce beans. 9.7 million tons, China's outstanding commitment. 2.25 million tons as a Chinese commitment to buy as October 30th. On Saturday, U.S. Trade Rep Jameson Greer said that China has been complying with the terms of the trade agreement and that Beijing is about a third of the way through its soybean purchase commitments for this growing season. Trump distributed in 2018 and 2019, Trump distributed $28 billion to farmers to make up for lost businesses over the tariff dispute at the time. However, China began to shift purchase of soybeans to Brazil, which has lasting consequences until now, when Beijing recently banned Brazilian soybean shipments. Trump has touted the move as proof they had won Beijing back over. It says soybeans aren't the problem. It's not fermenting them. British assisted the South during the Civil War because they needed the cheap cotton for their textile industry. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, despite a run-up in soybean futures over the past month or over a resolution with China, crop prices are close to 2020 lows, reducing what farmers take in while the cost of fertilizer is still climbing. The Trump administration first announced farm aid in March when the USDA announced they plan to pay as much as $10 billion under the Emergency Commodity Assistance Program authorized by Congress in late 2024, designed to help mitigate the impact of increasing costs and falling commodity prices. Total ECAP payment dispersed $9 billion. Total approved applications paid, 564,000. Look at that. It's like right through the middle of the country. Right through the heartland. Boo-hoo. Over $9 billion has been paid out as of November 23rd. That's a lot of money. I wonder if that's the money that the Somalians stole. Did they steal that money and pay it out? It's gone to corn and soybean farmers. Okay. That's that story. A little dab will do you. This is as Trump announces $12 billion in fresh economic assistance for farmers.
To a camera lens, so thanks for having me. Yeah, this administration has been incredibly focused on getting the American dream back into every American's home and goals, et cetera. And affordability is a huge piece of that. Of course, I'm the agriculture secretary, so food production, supporting our farmers and ranchers is a big piece. And when you look at under Joe Biden the last 4 years, we had an increase in inputs, interest rate 73%, fertilizer 36%, labor increased 47%. Not surprising that the driver, and of course, no new trade deals during those 4 years, no way to move the food out.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh. Luigi Mannione supporters real. It's like waiting outside.
We were pretty prepared. Like, we've done this a few times. It's Ashley's first time, but me and Lena have been here a couple of times. So we know the drill by now. I came last December and I froze my ass off for 4 hours, so I was not.
That's crazy. Oh, there's soybean farmers. So, oh my God! Look, it says mom with 6-year-old twins shot dead in $760,000 mansion amid bitter divorce battle with doctor husband. It says mom reveals the disturbing way Florida teen killers lured daughter in the woods before vicious slaughter. Serial criminal Cinnabon worker in viral hate video denies she's racist for bizarre reason. That's great. New York Post. Did you find out what the Somalis were saying to her, telling her that she's showing too much skin and that she should be ashamed and that she's a whore for not wearing a hijab? Did you look into that? Did you look into that? Oh, look at this. 1 million more U.S. kids became obese during the COVID pandemic. That's right. Aged beef. Ameriqua, what's up? Great to see you. I am not a fan of aged beef. I don't like it. It has a taste. I just don't like it. I don't like the, when they got mold on it, they got to cut off the mold and stuff to eat it. I'm not a fan. Dry aged or wet aged, whatever it is. I don't know. Not a fan. I prefer to, basically have a cow, drain it, cut it, boob it, doob it, goo it, eat it. Yummies. It says key takeaways. About 1 million American kids became obese during the pandemic. Wow, that's crazy. Obesity rates rose from 21% to 23%. Minority youth, disadvantaged kids, and those already overweight or obese were made more likely to gain weight. So that's right. So the people who were already fat became fatter. Wow. That's breaking news. Roughly 1 million American kids became obese during the COVID scamdemic. A cow over the fire is best. What is best in life? A cow over the fire. Hearing the lamentations of the cows and having them driven before you by cowboys. I was one of those kids. I became fat and I never stopped working during the pandemic. Oh, wait, I was eating like a pig. Never mind. She was amazing. Came here by herself at 14 when her father died, worked as a seamstress and sewed fancy clothes for the rich and famous. Child obesity rates in the U.S. rose from 21 to 23 during the global health crisis and foisted upon everyone by the Chinese Communist Party. That totals up to about 1 million more children with obesity in the wake of the pandemic. It's a substantial increase for pediatric obesity rates given the short period of time. Associate Dean for the UT Southwestern School of Public Health in Dallas said in a news release, these kids were at an increasing risk of heart disease, stroke, arthritis, liver disease, and chronic illness. Later in life, the researchers noted. For this study, researchers analyzed data from a federal health and nutrition survey conducted annually, comparing the health of more than 4,700 youth from the ages of 2 to 19 prior to the pandemic with 2,500 youth during the pandemic. Results show that the pandemic particularly intensified weight gain for minority youth, disadvantaged kids, and those who were already overweight or obese. For example, black kids had almost twice the risk of severe obesity as white kids. So now being fat is racist. Fat is racist. Obesity is racist. They're picking the sick Mr. Fat Man running around taking advantage of those poor black kids, making them fatties. How dare you? How dare you? Obesity was most common among adolescents 12 to 19, most notably among low-income households. Researchers said exercise helped protect some kids. Wow, this is a fucking newsflash. Did you guys ever know that exercise will help you to not be in a humongous big fat body? Wow. Someone needs to put that in a book. Like, here's this idea I got. Stick with me. A book about exercising. We call it something that's fast. So, because kids have ADD and stuff, and we have a very short attention span in the U.S. So let's call it 5-minute abs. And we'll sell it to these kids. And in 5 minutes, we'll tell them that if they just work out for 5 minutes a day, they will actually have abs. But kimchi is nasty. I don't think kimchi is nasty. Konnichiwa. I eat fermented foods. It was just a joke. I love sauerkraut, man. I love sauerkraut. Love it. Love it. I love sauerkraut. Fat cells are bigots. Bella left. Where did Bella go? Bella, what are you doing? What are you doing, girl? What you doing? What you doing, Bella? Kimchi needs more salt. It's funny. Lacto fermentation is great. 5-minute gamer abs. Yeah, 5-minute gamer abs. Something like that, right? We can make it a game in red pepper. Let's call it Tag You're It. Yeah, a game. We could have a game where you say Tag You're It, and they run, and then you chase them, and then you say You're It, and then they chase you, and then they can, Wow. On the other hand, healthier eating patterns might not have had much benefit. Oh, so now they're going to say eating healthy doesn't actually help you. What? Eating healthy doesn't help you stay healthy, according to them. So just eat whatever you want, and it doesn't matter. And don't work out, and don't run, and don't do anything. Don't exercise. Consumption of ultra-processed foods decreased from 66% of kids' diets before the pandemic to under 63% during. But researchers found no clear link between that and kids' weights. It's the amount of food they're eating. The amount of food they're eating is the problem. The problem. Who's got the problem in the I just put cayenne and sauerkraut. Oh, that sounds good, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it could be very, very good if somebody's watching you. Monday Night Madness. Da 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 da. Bon, we are my gay apparel, blah, 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 blah. So Dr. Sarah Barlow, a professor of pediatrics at UT Southwestern, says the pandemic certainly heightened all those stressors. So stressors. I think it also heightened it should have heightened the size of the dressers so that they couldn't keep food up there and go get it. That's what I think. That's how I think. That's what I think. That's what I think. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. What's we got here? Bella's trying to really be low. Look at her. Trying to lay there all like she's something. Look at her. Trying to lay there like she's something. Mm-hmm. What this means for you, kids with excess weight should be encouraged to enjoy more active play and provided healthier foods. You don't say healthier foods, but I thought you said it doesn't matter. All right, cool. We got this story here. It says Trump signals regulatory trouble for Netflix Warner Brothers merger. If I start doing lines of it, shoot me. Whatever that is. I don't know. It seems the stream will end before I catch up. I'll have to do better tomorrow. Well, it seems that way. It does seem that way. Tasmanian, I love my nutty, unusual kin. They're so much fun. Not boring, that's for sure. They generally aren't. My grandmother had a job at 5 years old tending geese outside of Prague. She came here when she was a 16. The problem might actually be they're getting 3,000 food stamps every month. Yes! That's the problem. Too much damn food stamps. Food stamps. Stamps. There is Bella, sitting there like that. So Trump said that he called Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos a fantastic man and praised his company while fearing its potential merger with Warner Brothers Discovery could be a problem due to its tremendous market share. Speaking with reporters on the red carpet of the Kennedy Center Honors in Washington, D.C., Trump confirmed that he met with Ted Sarandos ahead of the negotiations with Warner Brothers Discovery, adding that the deal could be a problem due to potential antitrust legal challenges. I'll be involved in that decision, the president said, adding that Netflix was sold $83 billion deal. Warner Brothers would go through a process and see what happens. The president also had kind words for Sarandos, calling the co-CEO of Netflix a fantastic man. I've got a lot of respect for him, but it's a lot of market share. He's a great person. He's got a lot of interesting things happening, aside from what you're talking about. But this is it's a big market share. No question about that. It could be a problem. Sarandos told investors on a call with the Wall Street analysts on Friday that he believes the deal with Warner Brothers Discovery will close in 12 to 18 months. We are really confident that we're going to get all the necessary approvals we need. The deal is pro-consumer, pro-innovation, pro-worker. It's pro-creator. It's pro-growth. Pro-creator? They're going to have a pro-creator? All I'm saying is that it just can't help that they buy nothing but junk with it. Definitely. Yeah. And my grandfather came here from Ireland at 12. His parents returned 18 months later, and he stayed with his brother here. Served in World War I at 16, lied about his age, and earned his citizenship. Well, that's amazing. Thank you for your service, KPT's grandpa. How cool. I've read about the Goose Girl, and your great-grandmother was one. That's awesome. Awesome. They sell them, Audra, for cash on the quarter. They do. It's not good. Not good at all. Not good at all. Really isn't. So All right, folks. Unfortunately, we did not hit the goal. It's been 3.5 hours. The show's been going for 3.5 hours, actually 3 hours and 40 minutes. We didn't hit the second goal, so we're going to have to call it a night. We're going to have to call it a night like that, and say I will see you guys all tomorrow, Tuesday night. We'll try again see if we can get past 1 extra hour. We've been stuck on 1 extra hour for quite a while now. So what's up, 10 Man 55? Great to see you. Better than an amateur creator. Yeah. I've never seen anyone get that much. Okay, well, good night. God bless. Yes. I just got here. I got here just in time. Yeah, Queewed Waz, what's up, man? Great to see you. But, yeah. Yeah. All right. Peace, everybody.